you. Oh yeah, they make my leg. Papa to soli ayero. This thing you can do. Eti kolo. If not before you, when me I got it, I have searched all over the world and I found nobody like you. Brighter morning star, only you I serve. Every day now you, I will pour my love on you. That's why when I wake in the morning I sing my praise to you. In the night, oh, now you are the call, now you the rain, now you, oh. And so it's salute. Daddy, no one like you. Oh yeah, they make my leg. Papa to soli ayero. This thing you can do. Eti kolo. I love you. I declare my love. I praise you. You alone, my Lord. Holy Spirit, my Lord. You alone, my Father. My sweet comforter. You are my defender. When praises go, your blessings come down. Oh, my Jesus, come receive my praise. There is nobody like you. And so it's salute. Daddy, no one like you. Oh yeah, they make my leg. Papa to soli ayero. This thing you can do. Eti kolo.
I rise to praise my God. Attention, my national praise. Yes, sir. International dance for my supernatural God. That's right. Melody in my heart. This when see you part. I sing because I'm happy. Oh. I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it see. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Oh, sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Unify and have a peaceful home. Change is all we need to make it stand. Let's unify and have land of liberty is my home, and let us keep it standing. Is the one and only home we have. Say sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is my home.
That's sweet Liberia. That's our Liberia. We all both know. I want to welcome you. It's 5:06 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alfonso Zayenso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. To want to welcome our viewers. This is your informative news magazine, the Forum, coming your way live this evening, wherever you are, here in the USA, in Liberia. I would say probably good evening, a little after 10 p.m. Time difference of 5 hours now. If you are in the USA, whether in the East or West, in Europe, we'll say welcome to this talking point. As usual, we are here to always have a conversation with the hope to arrive at a understanding. Please give me a thumbs up, guys, just in case my audio is perfect. I hope the station manager is monitoring, because that's part of his job, to make sure everything is okay. But from what I see at my end here, everything looks good. But just give me a thumbs up, and if the audio is good from your end as well, let us know. And if there's any issue, we can make an adjustment ASAP. Okay. We want to welcome all of you this evening. And as usual, we will be taking on national issues, things that all of us are concerned with. It doesn't matter whether you are in Liberia or you are out of the country. The matter of fact here is, it is our country, and we all have a stake, regardless of your status. We all have a stake to fry into what is happening in Liberia. Let me take a quick little review on some of the major daily news from in Liberia. As a matter of fact, I will be having a conversation. The Director General of the Liberia New Agency, Kwame Oldpa, will be joining me here very shortly to get his take on a wide range of issues, including the most talk about now that is on the ballot. I did follow him. As a matter of fact, he's doing a good job. I mean, it's not easy. And I know in the past, the work of the Liberia New Agency was quite different. But let us also bear in mind, time has evolved significantly. So we have to cope or upgrade with the standard and how things are being done in this 21st century as compared to years back. So I will quite touch today. And because his live streaming from the Liberian New Agency, it was uncensored, it was unedited. You listen to it, for those of you that follow it, exactly the minds and thoughts of Liberia as to relate to even the senatorial elections. It was quite amazing. I want to see here probably to see whether, if it is possible, to just give you a sample audio on some of the things here. But I really thought that I'd bring this out to talk, to speak with him. Okay, just listen here. I will. Okay, let's see here. We gave you here. This was quite interesting here. Courtesy of the Liberian New Agency, state-run media. Kwame Oldpa, he was at Rallytown, the famous Rallytown market, and he was able to get sampling views of ordinary Liberians and how they feel. Let's see how this will work out here. Let's listen to some of it. And he want to be here very shortly. We're going to go to in-depth. And as usual, we'll open our phone lines for you to also participate. Let's listen to a few of the people that he talked to today at Rallytown Market, right down to United Nations Drive, around BDC to Barclay Training Center. Let's listen.
Yes. What you know about it? President, Senator for 9 years to 6.
Yeah, okay, 6,
yeah.
Okay.
President from 6 to 4.
To 5.
5, eh? Senator 4.
No, Senator 6.
Senator 6.
Yeah. Representative 5. They're reducing it.
Representative too much.
You think they might reduce it more?
Yeah. 3.
To 3?
Yeah.
Why?
President 4. President 4. Senator, I want for them to present to 4, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, be 4. 3, 4. Because against they still lonely, not doing nothing for the country yet. They doing nothing. They only there for themselves. Right now, people passing all over. One person put in there. We will be pretty public car passing. They can't stop. So yeah, they reduce them. Ismail, your friend.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the whole idea. But you know, some people were fighting the president. The president, when the president said to be 4.
Yes.
Yeah, everything he's saying. He proposed most of the thing, but they were fighting. He said no, this, that.
Yeah, because they still won't be eating and will be suffering. Like this, I said, I want vote, sir. I want vote. Yeah, I will not vote.
Vote, man.
No.
That day, 2 days to the election, I come and bring your back right to you.
No, I will not vote.
I leave you eat.
That back will not do nothing for me. My son, they finish college, they say nothing to the hotel. No job. You go this side, say no, you go this side, no way. And that president, we don't want to put out from 2005. 2005, we used to print our own t-shirt in the market.
Okay.
Yeah. So we put the president there and now we're suffering, our children suffering. So I will not vote.
Okay.
I tired suffering.
Thank you so much, Mom, and your name again?
Sis Joanna.
Sis Jojo. Nice meeting you, and good luck to your but you eating all that rest, you not even call me. Look at the juices. I'm putting the camera in your face. Look at the juices. Cassava Leah. Okay.
All right, thank you.
So that's so looking. Banana oil can be eaten in the still. So you see real powerful rare oil. Look at that. Real powerful rare oil. You see some of the businesses there I shot basically maybe to the same issue. We're here. Let's talk to the brother here. What is this? What are you selling, sir? Sawa. What's that? Okue. Yeah. Oh, bisab. That's a Senegalese stuff. How much you sell it? 50 Liberian dollar for one bucket. Let me see the cup. Oh, and that bucket is how much? 500. Okay.
On here. All right, I believe the audio is good now. We want to welcome our folks here this evening. I'm Afonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio. All right, my guest is standing by. Let me just bring in. That's the Executive Director of the Liberia New Agency, state-run media, LINA for short, acronic name. Director Kwame Oldpa, which is joining me from the nation capital of the Republic of Liberia, Senator of Monrovia. Mr. Director, good evening, and thank you for sharing your evening with us.
Good evening, Afonso. I don't know, the audio sounds kind of muffled, but I hope you're hearing me and your fans or your viewers are hearing me.
Yeah, is it better now? Very audible to you. Are well audible.
Okay.
Is it looking a little bit horrible on your end?
You said what now?
Is it not too? Is it bad on your end? It is good from my end here. You are well audible.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you clear.
Okay. All right. So Hearing me loud and clear. Okay. All right. That's the Director General of the Liberia New Agency, Kwame Oldpa Weeks. Okay, Director Weeks, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to you are doing an extraordinary job. Getting out there, digging all of the uncovered news in a raw context, unedited, uncensored, hearing the people's voices. But my attention was drawn specifically today. Your quest and state-run media to reinforce this referendum on the this coming election. First of all, I will say thank you, and we're going to have some conversation here. Okay, we're going to talk other issue about is the more important thing on the plate here this evening. Today was day one of lenient assessment, public awareness. I believe there was a lesson to learn from what you went out there today for.
Yeah, there was a lot. You follow us. It was just a sample. We were sampling from the Raleigh market and what.
Oh, internet don't do this. Just bear with us. I believe he's frozen from there. Let me just let's see here. Hopefully he will be back. Yeah, okay. Let me bring him back here. Okay, you're back. Go ahead, Mr. Director.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, much better now. Yeah, go ahead.
We lost the audio.
I'm getting you. You are audible now. I'm hearing you. Are you there? I'm hearing you.
I can't.
Are you not hearing me? You want to go off and come back? Are you hearing me? Okay, let me see here. Let me just take in getting off and he can come back here. Just bear with us. That's the internet system. Broadband is still a challenge in the 21st century in Liberia. These are some of the things that we need to resolve in order to be connected, to know what is happening in today's digital world. Broadband, I think there must be some sort of huge investment because it helps us to connect, to know what is going on. So it's a challenge. Just bear with us, folks. We want to really get a take here from the state-run media. That's the Liberia New Agency, LINA for short. He was out there today and was quite fascinating. You listen to the little sampling that I did yet, and other people saying that they were not even voting, and because of their own frustration being expressed, and they have all right to do that as a citizen. So I am wondering to where did we all we didn't what we didn't notice. Perhaps I think we have done a little ahead to create awareness. But when people are saying that they will not participate either in the elections, other people don't know the probabilities, all of the propositions are involved in the referendum. That's a serious thing. Okay, let me see here. He's back with us here. Let me see here. All right. There you go. Probably you left the title. Oh, that's why it was like that. That's why you should have done DG Lina. Now there's a full intro. I couldn't say that. Now it looks good. Okay, Mr. Director, welcome. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I was deeply touched today, and my attention captured your work as usual. Listening to sampling views of ordinary citizens in Liberia relative to the elections and even the referendum.
Yeah, like I said, we had to choose the Raleigh market because, you know, this is very dear to the president. He's constructing all these markets. His mom was a market woman. and all of that. So we talk to go into the market to sample views of diverse people going in the market. You got teachers, students, everybody can go in the market to find food. So, but what we saw there today and what we heard, there was a lot of diverse views. There were some disenchanted voters. There were people who wanted the term reduced or even 2 years. People were frustrated, but it was what it is. I mean, they were unscripted, uninterrupted. They had full access to what they wanted to say. The good news is that none of them used profanity, and there was this guy who also, based on his business, what he was doing, like he was earning like 200-300, was like $1.50 a day. He managed to get somebody in the diaspora, and we find out also that people misconstrue when you talk about dual citizenship. Or they thought that a bunch of white folks will come from out there and just come and take their lands and all of that. They didn't know that they themselves were affected by that. When I set that example that my 3 kids in the space scandal, Kwame, Tilu, 3 of them cannot be able to purchase land or go through some other issues without some legal, impediment. And most of them understood it, but we were not able to discuss. Volatile market is very huge. So I think this time we are behind the 8 ball when it comes to awareness, and we have to be very, very aggressive, like the Minister of State said it.
Can you check your audio from your end? That is kind of a little bit door coming in, but I'm hearing you. And to our audience, please do us a favor, just in case if I need to do it from my end or from my guest as well. So the targeting of Raleigh market, how strategic is this to this process in terms of getting the information out there? How you arrive at that sort of decision making, Mr. Director?
Yeah, and I told you it's the commonest place that you can go. You can go to schools. You will only find one demographic. But if you went to the market, you have a whole different type of people. It's diverse. The diversity in going to the market. Even the pastors would go there. Muslims would go there from different faiths and so forth. So the market is one of the major places to target. Notwithstanding, anybody you meet on the road is a potential voter, or have voted, or will not have voted before. So, but that will be a sporadic effort where you just go and pick up people one by one. But if you go to the market, you have people stationed right at the table. So if you went to the meat side, you will see people there. If you went to where they sell vegetables, you will see folks sitting right there. They're not moving. And so you're sampling them one by one, and they have the ability to share with other people. When they go back home, mind you, those people we sample today will go back home to their relatives, to their loved ones, to their sons, their daughters, their husbands, their kids. And they will say, oh, today, guess what? Some people came to us, the same government people, those who want to spin it in the negative way will spin it. Those who want to spin it the positive way will spin it. But he said, oh, this referendum thing we were talking, they're not where people coming in our country to buy land or to take everything from our own children there. So I think it's good for us, and the message will be able to go. It's not like because you sample 20 person will tell another 20, another 20 will tell another 20. But I think we really need to move and move fast, because it's just 2 weeks away from today's date to the day people start to cast the ballots.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I put it here, Mr. Director. Let me ask you, why did delay? Why did information did not get out there within the public domain? Where can we not really shift blame, but who can we hold responsible? Somebody must be held responsible. Why is the delay? This is a very consequential and very important thing that people should be educated. This should be flooding all over the media. people should know what they're supposed to be. But I'm quite sure you were astonished to hear some people didn't even know anything, and you are doing your best to educate and illustrating how the process is going to be working. This is my disappointment with the 103 men and women on Capitol Hill also as well, because it's part of their job, considering referendum, to go back to their constituencies and tell them this is what at stake coming this election. But they were just only after solidifying their political power. Why?
And you are right on this front, Mr. So. You are 100% correct. That, like I said, we are behind the 8 ball on this one. Who dropped the ball, I cannot say. But the Minister of State came out the park ruling yesterday, and he challenged everybody. He's now reaching out to political leaders on the opposition. He's willing. He said, "Look, this is a call for all of us. Imagine this president is trying to reduce his term. So if he should win a second term, it's going to be 5 years." He said, "Let it be applied to me, because it is because people, you see, in the Ivory Coast, Guinea, all of these different places where it seems like a constitution change will then lead people to want to perpetuate themselves in power or into office. This president is saying, no, I don't even want you to have the tinge of that thought. Let me cut it down on my term so that you guys will have the luxury also of going." But I hate to, and I'm one guy, I hate to say it's me versus them. But if you look at it, part of it is the opposition's fault. They spun it in a different way, and we were not swift in going after, especially when the Supreme Court didn't strike the law down. They came out or that referendum down. It was all over the town that the Supreme Court.
Check your audio.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
And the Supreme Court was saying you cannot bulk all of these things up. You have to go one by one. So they call on the election commission, said, no, you have, let me see the ballots you have there. So if the ballot is squeezing everything into one, because I could vote for dual citizenship and not vote for election, season, right? I could say, no, I want to be in the rainy season, but I can vote for dual citizenship. Another guy can come and say, no, I'm against dual citizenship, but I can vote for senator terms to reduce from 9 to 7, So that was the ruling from the. Yeah, go ahead.
No, now you quick to dash this on the opposition. When you say the opposition, which group the oppositions? There are so many. And what specifically can you tell us now that this is the fault of the opposition, Mr. Director?
Because you had a lot of folks who were spinning this out of control, and I don't mean to throw, start to throw stuff with the hope that something sticks, but this is all about country first. For example, there's nothing bad in this in all of these propositions. Imagine how much money that pours in from the diaspora in form of remittances into this country. And these people are brothers, and they come out here into Liberia, and they cannot buy land legally. They have to buy it on the water, or if they bought it and there was a big problem, or that they cannot yield the property to the kids, they can't run to be a president. They can't, there's a whole lot against them. The odds are stacked against them. And these are all Liberians, majority who they just went out there because they wanted to run away from the same politicians that destroyed their lives, that brought war in the first place.
Yeah, but Mr. Director, when you say the opposition, then this seems to suggest to me, and so probably I'm making a wrong guess here, that they are responsible. But GOL, GOL out of the machinery, the Liberian News Agency, the State Broadcasting Corporation, to aggressively pursue this, why even the dialogue or conversation was going on in terms of, hey, this is what is at stake. I didn't see that happening. Maybe I'm going over the edge here. Was that the case? ELBC, for example, and other time, they could have even gone to private news outlet and kind of open the ball up to say, look, this is the purpose of the referendum. But you will also agree with me, people within the government, in the opposition, more people seems to be protective of their jobs. I was there. I talked to a lot of people, and both sides actually went at that. So it seems like the information was not forthcoming. Now, in 13 days, this is coming down, so we don't know how it's going to end up. So is it fair to say everybody drops the ball?
I don't think that's it, but I'm saying the opposition saw it as the president wants to go for a third term, which is not the case, because they're suggesting that if the constitution, there's an opening there, that if they go for the referendum to alter or change anything in the constitution, it applies to all. Then that means it gives the president right to run, you know, for the third term. And I'm not a legal mind when it comes to these things, so there are certain areas I cannot tread. But that was their bone of contention, and the president was like, "Look, I don't. This is not what. There's no way in this world I can perpetuate myself into office or fight for a third term. But we must do it now, because even if we wait and I win the second time and want to do it again, it still has to go through. So whatever we do, at one point it has to go through, and someone will have to trust that particular president who is in office. And at the end of the day, it has to do with our country and our own sovereignty. So whether we want to get small country like this, a president being in power for 6 years, if that person is not good, you know what's going to happen. You're just going to live with that person. Senator being 9 years, you know, and the Constitution does not say when you can stop running. If you want to be a senator, you can go there and be there for life, as long as the people continue to vote you in.
No, to be honest with you, it is so ridiculous, the number of years, and you heard that directly from the voters, the victims, and the victor. I'm talking about the voters and some of what they expressed today before your very camera. And it was quite amazing. There are a lot of dissenting views in terms of people not happy, to the extent people are saying, I'm not even voting. This is the frustrations of these people that they have elected. They are being so unwilling to also do their part. There are three branches of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative branch of government. We elected them. They are our direct representation. And it is unfortunate that these people are not working. Well, Kwame just went off here again. Hopefully he will be back here. But this is a very serious issue. We have 13 days to go, according to the official calendar of the National Election Commission. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You know, that's the challenges we're still facing in the broadband in the 21st century here. So, do you think with this 13 days to go, is it enough to cover, to get this information out within the 15 political subdivisions, so that the people will understand, they would know what they are voting for? I like the layout, the illustration, the sun for the for dry season and the rain for the rainy season. There are a lot of good things in there. But my concern here, why is people, this thing was withheld, and there was no public discussion to give citizens the opportunity to be able to make informed decision? I think
So I don't know if
government forcefully pursue that as well, but that did not happen. Oh boys. All right. The director of the LIBERIA New Agency, I believe there's a serious internet connection that just bear with us. Hopefully, these are some of the challenges that we are facing. So just imagine how the people in urban Liberia, the difficulties they're going to get. They can't, the information would not really touch. And so people are going to make a guess game. You know, and I know, I had to do this sort of comparison, but most of our officials, they either want to school here. It's just a matter of putting little simple system in place to take time It's about the country. It's not an individual. Okay, let's see here. This internet here, I'm going to file a lawsuit against ATS. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Director.
Yeah, what was it again? What was your concern?
Yeah, my concern is whether time is still in our favor. You have 13 days to go to this election here. You, Kwame Oldpa,
Right.
director of LINA, what you are doing is, to be admitted, I must applaud you. That's not even supposed to be your job, but because of the society that we have, you're supposed to be behind your decks to monitor cable news, the Al Jazeera, AP, and all of that, to kind of get it out there. But you, as a director, you're in the field. What happens to the Liberian Broadcasting Corporation? Your state-owned radio media should be aggressive in this. Why?
I mean, I can say I'm just doing my patriotic duty and my love for country. If Liberia was like any other country, and I don't mean we are not, but we went through war. This country been destroyed. All this infrastructure, not only our minds and all of that. See the level, the kind of way we're practicing our politics to the way where you don't see American politics. You find they cussing Joe Biden, man, cussing Donald Trump, man, or even the kids, and then we want to say we're great politicians and all of that. So it takes one with a small heart to go out there in the field in spite of your title, because director general is just director general. So you have to lead your people. And I mean, at this particular crucial time, a crucial journey of our country, where history is about to be made, I think I have to be on the front there for this president. And when history is made, at least we will get a little tinge of whatever credit that is going to come out there. We put our men out there with the kind of funding we have and all of that, but it just takes us to be armed with a cell phone, enough data, and a gadget, and boom, we're out there talking to people. If we get tired, we come home, write a couple of articles until these 13 days to see how best we can get this message out there. Because I have children also, that three kids in the diaspora, my nephews, my nieces, my cousins. You are there, all of that. You think I don't want Zionso, kids, or even himself to come out here and contribute to our economy? It shouldn't be we're taking from you guys alone. Remittances. We contribute to almost, you could call it 50 to 60% of our economy. So you control our mobs here. We should be able to do something, to affect all of us.
I know you are not an official spokesperson of the President of the Republic of Liberia, but if I might add this sort of rhetorical question here, how genuine is the President relative to this process here? And the reason I'm asking this, I'm not saying him aggressively, and even surprisingly, all of the candidates, all that in this 20 midterm here, I want to see them talking about what they can do. Nobody, I haven't seen that. Probably it's out there. I'm just going over the air here to talk about this referendum. Does that mean they're not in support of it, or what is the deal? Because they are the one, they should have even gone to their constituency and say, hey, this is what at stake. Besides the senatorial debate, we're talking about the 8 propositions. They are very much important. But it's another ploy by these politicians because I guess there's some sort of hidden agenda. They do not want to accept us. They do not want to understand that they were, because of crisis, people came here, and they do not still get it, that they are young generation here with innovative mind. When they are integrated in Liberia too, it will be good. And I know this country is built on immigrants. So why did the president himself did not take the bullhorn to say, hey, this is at stake? If he really support that, I didn't see that happening. Why?
Maybe you then that's not true, especially when it comes to the president, because he started this fight even under Madame Salif, and he's championed this. And the moment he took office, immediately he called for this country to be open. like today, we sat with the EU ambassador here. One of the things that he said Liberia will boom is in the tourism industry. And he was like, imagine your country where you don't have the kind of money to open embassies in every country. So you just say, okay, we're going to have a robust team at the airport. Anybody, so long you don't have Liberian embassy in that country, just jump on the plane, you come here, and we could scrutinize you on the airport, and then you enter, and tourism will start to boom, especially based on the way, especially not forgetting the lawmakers and all of that pass through the normal process. You got Thailand, which he cited. You know, you got Thailand, which he cited as a visa-free country. But now coming back to your point, these were the same people who were questioning why the president photo were on these different propositions. So the Minister of Information to them was all about endorsement. You know, the Minister of State, he said it was all about endorsement. Because, look, at what point do we just forget about all of these politics? To the point where you have a little over 500,000 Liberians of your population live in the United States. You know what these people can do for your country? You know what these people can do for your country? So imagine that. What they are even doing now, if this dual citizenship, I met on the steps of the information ministry today, one of the champion and fighter for this particular cause in the person of Emmanuel Wetty, you know, and he's here leading the charge, you know, and willing to go all through the length and breadth of this country to make sure. He didn't say, okay, I will sit in Ohio, enjoy my money, you know, I'll be there and everything. But he's here. He left the diaspora and he's here fighting, you know. You had all these different guys that was in EULA, and you have Dr. Mariah Seaton, all of these people who've been fighting for this dual citizenship in this country. So, but the only thing the lawmakers, not the lawmakers, our justices did was like, look, don't bulk it up. It's like you're shoving something down someone's throat. So break it down into pieces. Election Commission, y'all go reprint your ballot and make sure that you put dual citizenship by itself. You put those who want the election to be held during the rainy season, put them by themselves. So if you want to vote for that, you can leave the other one. You want to vote for this, you can leave the other one. Now, on the question of awareness, I can state unequivocally here that we are way behind the 8 ball. What's going to happen on the 8th of December is any man's guess. Notwithstanding, we cannot fight all these times and not go aggressive now because the country is small. You have community radio stations everywhere. Like you said, get the representatives. It's going to cost extra, but let them get up and go to their various constituents and start to get the ball rolling and make more noise about this thing like we are out there. Tomorrow, unfortunately, we will be at the St. Moses Funeral Palace to remove the remains of the late Public Works Minister in the morning. I'm leaving my house at 6 a.m. And after that procession leaves to wherever it is headed to, I'm jumping back in the market. Maybe we're going to go straight to Douala Market, and then the next time we go to Red Light and be all over and see what we get almost every day. Sunday, we're going to visit the churches, you know, and we're not going to stop these 13 days. And we hope that, like you're watching, other people will watch, and we'll make sure to get our country back and working.
Oh, Mr. Director, I know it might sound a little bit ridiculous. You are not in the political minds of those people that are seeking re-elections and those people that are contesting. Why are they not even, it is not coming out of their tongue? Why are they not measuring? It said that they are not in support of it. What actually was the deal? Can you tell me, as LINA boss, some of the, I know this discussion has been ongoing for the longest on Capitol Hill. But it is just amazing that none of them, they are not talking about it. Does that mean they're not in support, or what? What actually is the apprehension? What is their fear? Didn't come out. Why? I mean, it's just, I don't even know why NEC in the first place that they need to be told by the Supreme Court why they try to condense everything. It's just going to confuse people. We have a population that really need help in terms of information. And I like the sort of jovial or let's say breaking it down to the lowest, because yeah, what you were asking, and somebody when you call a name, they didn't know, and you start talking about, you know, when this chair do they, when you see the small chair, they mean the one shot, and when you see the big chair, and you mean, so this is a serious problem. Why these lawmakers here, this is, it's really get to my nerves, the behavior of our politicians. If we are holding the executive as responsible, more hold those people on Capitol Hill responsible, because they are my direct representative. They are, and they seems not to do their job. What is the deal?
I have no idea, or whatever it is, like they just don't care or whatever. And I'm not clothed with the facts as to why someone didn't do what they were supposed or charged to do. I'm just doing my patriotic duty, and for what I was appointed by this president as a person or a medium or conduit for what is fed out to the people. And once we're called, we jump out there. Well, I don't have to wait, you know, for the president to tell me. When you hear the presidential minister speaks, that means that's the president speaking. And those of us that are in the information area, it is our duty to go out there and sell this idea so that this thing will move forward.
Why they are the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, and I note he is the direct deputy to the president. Why did the Minister of Presidential Affairs, you think, I took the lead to do this instead of the Minister of Information? Why was it done? Do you know?
It only strikes the importance and the urgency of it when you see the Prime Minister of the country saying we got to get this done, and he himself boots on the ground. You know, it's important. Of course, of information today, and the Minister of Information is, but he already told him, say you, and we are the Ministry of Information, right? So you saw me in the market there to tell you how important and aggressive we will be in the coming days.
Okay, there you go. Kwame Oldpa, which as the Director General of the Liberia New Agency. The frustration is overwhelming. I heard some of the ladies right from Rallytown Market, and they was talking to the president knows we print a t-shirt here. This is where he came from to be where he is today. But here we are. We're suffering. This is not happening. So we are not seeing anything being done. I know it would be unfair to cast everything on the president, but the boss start with him. He is the chief executive. And I guess he does listen to these podcasts, what is happening, like news coming from within the public domain. And when citizens say, I'm not voting because when we put in there, it will be the same old thing. What does suggest? How do you think the turnout going to be like?
Yeah, I addressed one of that, the lady who were talking like that. I just made her to understand that we're in COVID times. We're in COVID times. We never, no one understands this virus. No one know how it mutates, how it behaves, whether if you got COVID, what will be the long term. Good news, we got a vaccine. We don't know if they will serve the white people first before black people, or they will serve the elite before we the low small guys then, or by the time the virus get out, whether someone else going to be here, we don't know. So it has affected the way we do business. You know, it has affected the way we communicate. If it was not because of the virus, I'll be calling you direct on Facebook. Now you have Zoom. Almost everything is virtual. You know, if you give people a chance, they will kiss virtually now, you know, from a distance and all of that. So this is something that yes, we feel the pain, but we have to educate our people. So when they talk about this, that, about goods and services, what the prices are, before a container comes to Liberia, excuse me, you know, it has to go through all kinds of different protocols and different health checks and all of that, compared to when it used to take maybe 2 weeks and so to get here. It might double or quadruple the time. And people come, you know, business people will say, no, all the time I wasted there, I got to ask small thing. So, but then the people, the common person here don't know that they only look to their leaders. They don't have all, they're not close with this information. And that's why we as journalists, if you see, I'm talking to you, Afonso, and I said something crazy that is unfounded or is fake news, you have to fact check me. You don't let me just keep misinforming the public on your platform. And so that's why I was like, when that lady was blaming almost everything on the president, I said, Mom, yes, our economy was operating at XYZ, but now with where we are now, I think we're doing good. You know, it is not like what it was, but we will soon be out of the woods. And I was able to tell her that.
Yeah.
And you saw some other people in the market also who said that they were doing well. The lady who sold fish, the guy who was doing dry goods, who had on the max, all of these different people, they said the business were going well, and other people who felt disenfranchised, like this one girl we spoke to, she was very pissed, you know. And you will meet up with everybody like that, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. We cannot go and censor people from saying what they're saying as long as they're not using vitriolic language.
You are one of no question about that. One of the media guru in that. Do you face questions or get telephone calls after some of your podcasts, because they can be sometimes unedited, uncensored? Those are live video, live images, live interviews, and people speak their mind. Do your bosses call you at times and say, "Hey, wait a minute, you are accelerating on a high scale now"? Do they call you at times?
Why would they call me when we have freedom of speech? This is the president who championed free speech in Liberia. That you know you can come and cause his mind. You land on the airport, nobody say nothing to you. You go about your normal business as long as you do not infringe upon other people. I mean, take Henry Costa for example. All the things he say, he comes in this country, he's free. He walk, he goes back. You know, and that's Liberia. This is the new Liberia that we pray for. Except that if what you're saying, you live in the United States. Some of the things you hear these guys say, you cannot even say something crazy about the president that sounds threatening. The FBI will pick you up. So, but we want to respect the law on that side. But here, you know, some of the things they say on the so-called podcast, they can't say even 0.5% of that. Before I talk about 99% on an American channel or on their own Facebook page. You know, I was trying to go on their Facebook page and let them tell and say, write small thing about Trump, and let's see whether the FBI will not be at your door in the morning and pick you up, you know? So, I mean, in our Liberian parlance, we say we talk so, we talk so. Freedom of speech must come with some sort of responsibility. And just now you go tell anybody, you know, because it ended up say with the government killing journalists all over the place. When you go find out, it's either a love triangle or that particular journalist stealing goat or some kind of thing happening like that. So, I mean, that's not, we're not in the business of this. And my bosses will not call me because somebody expressed, you know, dissatisfaction on the way government is doing in certain area.
What can you tell us within this injury and strappy time? Take 10 days to go to this all important senatorial and the referendum. What are the preparations in the making in terms of from LINA and the state broadcasting corporations? I believe there should be some sort of collaboration or some sort of teamwork to accelerate the disseminations of information to where relative to this referendum, especially. I'm not even impressed with the figure in terms of the registered voters for this 2 million, some more people for the 15 political subdivisions. That itself is troubling. And if we have that other number left that will not participate, then of course, even though we can force people to go vote, but all boils down to this lack of disseminations of information. So what is the preparation now? I'm not worried that much about Liberia. But what happens to the rest of the 14 political subdivision? Would they also have the opportunity, the privilege to get access to this sort of information dissemination, you think?
Sure. On the LINA front, we got, when I took over the agency, we never had correspondence in the counties. Now we have 15 correspondents in the 15 counties, or let's say in the 14 counties. And you have a lot of reporters here in Monrovia. But that's not enough. Take Nima alone. One reporter cannot, one correspondent can't cover the whole Nima. He doesn't have a motorbike, you know. He doesn't have a sophisticated cell phone, you know. You got to go stand on some hill before you get, if you're not in Ganta or Sanikole, you got to go stand on some signal, you know, and all of these challenges, one person can't cover that. But for us, what we can do, I huddled today with all those guys in these counties, and they're fired up. They're waiting. They say, look, DG, once we get some sort of support, we will be out there. But for now, we will be doing our own sample, and you know, and then filing that report and have it in the newscast. So far, that's their limitations. And those who are armed with a good cell phone, we just pass them, give them the password to the Lina page. When we are not live, they can go live, you know, and we can interchange and go all around. We're gonna be gassing our vehicle over the weekend to go to Grand Bassa. We're going to go to Nimba. We're going to go to Bung and all of these different places, these little villages, and stop there, talk to people, you know, up to for these 13 days.
What happens to River G? What happens to Sano County? What happens to Grand Juda County? Those places are not that too well accessible considering the season.
We have reporters out there.
Are they doing?
BC got correspondence. Lena got correspondence, so we will know that I will know in the coming days on what we're going to be getting out there. But I think Rance is doing a great job out there.
Yeah. Let me ask you here. You are close with the authority. I'm not in support of people using some uncomfortable language, but again, that's the world we find ourselves in today. Does this really get under the skins of our leaders? Do they really pay attention to that then to do their job? Because people, as a matter of fact, Donald Trump here, there people also they call him all sort of names. If you listen, depending on the media outlet that you listen to, when you go to CNN, you get a different version. When you go to Fox, when you go to Max News, oh my goodness, you hear different. So is this really get under the skin of our leaders? Hey, this is what the people are doing to us. Is that something that
it doesn't, but they you know, every little child in Africa, the internet is not censored in a kind of a way here. They allow you to just dump garbage and all of that. If your child was signing up on the internet in the States, there will be so many questions and all of that different, you know, safety features that will be on there. We don't have the luxury of that here. So when you start seeing, you know, people insult the leader or people wash, you know, the wash on the adults watching those kind of stuff with children around. They think it is cool, you know, and they grow up with it. I would not like my son to listen to that kind of stuff, you know, and that's the angle I'm speaking from. But if the president cared for these kind of things long time, you know, he will react. But that's not something that he cares about. But we just have to say it because the only way the country will be okay if we respect each other, no matter what our differences are. So what are some you find people doing now? Because if I can't cost Alfonso, what do I do? The guy who costing Alfonso, I send him small money, say my man cost the man more, and you know, and I stand by, you know. But that's not something that gets under the president's skin. As a matter of fact, he doesn't see that, and but we who are his lieutenant think that's not cool. Anybody who supports that you're going to have people sit on the internet, they call themselves talk show hosts and insulting leaders' mom, their parents, And I mean, that's not the kind of way, you know. I mean, it's sad. It's sad, you know. It's so sad.
Okay. So if you, I will be putting the number up here. I'm quite sure you'll be willing to take a question here. Our attention here is being drawn to this son. But let me just ask you, just before I came on air, I got a tape that I missed today. My understanding that, and I know it was announced yesterday, the autopsy report, but I did not listen to it directly. You are the one of the mouth head of the GOL in terms of what you do. My understanding the autopsy report for the full auditors is was released today.
Correct. 100% was released, and the government found no foul play in any of the deaths.
What did they say? Like I say, I didn't listen to it. We might not go in depth to it, but for the benefit of the audience and those who didn't have a chance to get that, what precisely, what did the autopsy report say so far?
Yeah, according to the toxicology report by our pathologist, found, and mind you, including the Americans that went through the process with our team here and the journalists that witnessed the whole autopsy, find out that those two that died up on Broad Street from LRA died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
So are you saying there was some foreign help in the process to carry on the autopsy?
Yeah, the Americans.
The family members, do you think they have been notified of that report prior to the publications and the pronouncement?
That I can say, but I know they were present when they, according to the Minister of Justice, when the when the autopsy was being carried on. You have Power, I don't know, Power Radio or Power TV.
Yeah,
you have
Power TV today, but I didn't listen to it. But one of our interviews with T-Max, one of the victims' family, Gifty, they said they were not going to get I'm not sure whether they went back later on. I'm not sure what that information, the standings of that information, but what is the reception so far following the release of this autopsy in Liberia today? Can you tell us?
And that was a question somebody posed. I mean, the results are what it is, unfortunately. That could be me, that could be any one of us. But we just wait, you know, and see what happens. I mean, what can we do or say, you know, when someone dies in this way and faction, you know, and it is not something that anybody will want to go through. Unfortunately, that's the report we have, and we're just going to live with it.
Okay, I have a caller on the line here. Let me just go to this caller here, and I will come right back to you. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sean. I'm calling from New York.
All right, Sean, good evening and welcome.
I was listening to Mr. Wheat, and he said on the tax report that came from the Justice Minister today, he said it was no foul play, but the Liberian government need to stop playing with us. We have intelligent mind and sensible people. We definitely know it was Gifty and Abbott and with the other guy that felt was all murder. And it's my first time hearing him say the American was involved. Almost a month ago, we never hear no American was involved in this attack until Mr. Wheat come up tonight and said the American was involved. When did the American was part of this whole process? Because we never hear any American was involved in this. So I want to know when was the American involved and when and what time they came in to play the part into this whole investigation.
Okay, so let me just ask you before I go back to Mr. Waker. You've been very categorical to say that they were murder. Is that what I heard from you?
Yes, there was murder because
no, come in. Hold on 1 second. Okay. When you said it was murder by whom?
Right.
They don't have they say they have a suspect. That's what the Justice Minister said. He said he had two persons as a suspect. That means if you have a suspect, that means that person is a person of interest. If you have a suspect, that means is a person of interest in the case. It's common forensic science. I mean, it's common forensic. If you watch ID and you watch Quest 48, it will
This
show
guy.
you it goes. It's common basis. And so if that person is a person of interest, is a suspect, I mean the person knows something about it, and that's what the government got them in custody for.
When a person of interest is used in a security context, it has a different implications than a suspect. But hold on, let me go to Weeks for Weeks to respond. Maybe you will have the time to just in case. Mr. Director?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, Ty, you listen to the gentleman. I think he did ask a question. Ty, are you willing to respond to that?
Yeah, I care to respond. I thank you so much for that. Was good journalism there when you stop him in his track to say a person of interest is not a suspect. Okay, that's the lowest class. We have interest in questioning you, but when you're a suspect, basically you might not even be able to go home, and you can leave from a person of interest before you become a suspect.
Okay, let me
On
hold
the ground,
Dr. Will, let me hold on 1 second. You see, this is some of the problem here. Mike Fremont, for us here, you are at liberty. If you want to cause, you want to do anything, you can cause. But we do not allow people with a premature and limited brain that get fish brain on this network here. If you can call in to ask your question and you tell you want to cause here, I don't condone stupidness. So I gotta let you go. Since you don't have your country at heart, you are the same people that are causing problem. That's why we don't even have people to talk to. Okay, go ahead, Kwame.
and I like the way this gentleman is interacting. I mean, the justice minister said he has 2 suspects. Those suspects were the 2 guys, according to the report. And I'm quoting what the justice minister said today, that the 2 suspects are those who went into the car to steal the laptop and all of those things that he named. The pants were, I don't know how many dollars in there. They stole the laptops and 4 cell phones and all of that. Those are the people that are currently in police custody. There were 2 Liberian pathologists and an American, and I put the report together, and it was done before members of the civil society. That's the report that was put out. I was not there. This is the report that came out from the pathologist, and I know I can't come out and say, okay, yes, these people were murdered, because the report does not suggest that. And it was the government who asked, it was the president who asked our friends, the Americans, to, if you could follow the history, I will send you all the links. Maybe you didn't get that. And that's what I'm saying. People want you to listen to what you want to listen to, and people just think they thought they were going all around. How many times people never ran around here when one journalist died or is murdered? You go find out, then it's a whole different thing. The guy who died in Bunk County, they say the president killed him. Some people even went that far. They carried the man to the president's house. They played a key here to only find out that the man wanted to go steal goat. That's how the farmer shot him. So all of these things that we just put out there, you just have to black another guy who I mean, this is not what the kind of country we live in and all of that.
It's crazy. People, they're not even helping over the problem. This is why most of the government official, because we want to ask you people that what are you appointed? We are
just don't on show. They won't, they will never. So they just leave you stay like that, and then you cannot engage your officials. But for us, we know the streets, so we will always come out here. Your cause is nothing to us, and we're just going to put out the facts.
Okay, hold on. Let me go here. I get another caller here, here, and then I will go back to the first caller here. 774 Namatai 7611. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
How you doing, Mr. Cho? My name is Mr. Dwalu,
hey,
and I'm calling from right here, Rhode Island. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you this evening, my dear brother?
Good, Mr. Weeks. Thanks for coming to the studio. My question, more of a comment. Whenever a government presents something to the population or to the public, the image of the government does matter. How that information is delivered to the population, it matters. We understand these deaths, what they were. My question to you is, Mr. Weeks, are you comfortable? Are you confident? Are you okay with the way the information is presented to the public? And do you think Liberia is safe? And is there any trust in the system as it stands with the way the government presented this information, giving what we've seen the evidence is? Because the issue here is we have four separate deaths. And it's almost seems almost every single one of them. Now, I'm not saying whether the report is wrong, but it seems almost every single one of them is being attributed not to any killings, but to natural causes. And then they will give you the caveat like, oh, we'll still do more investigation. My question to you is, are you confident? Are you okay the way the country is being perceived as it relates to these deaths? Is it safe in Liberia? Do you feel safe? Because if it happens to you tomorrow, this information is going to be presented. Most of you guys in government and
Did we lose him?
you're being perceived when it comes to these murders. It's my question to you.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to go back to him so he will respond. Director Weeks, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You want to respond to his question?
Yeah, perfect. And thanks, my brother, for that brilliant question. I do feel safe here in Liberia. You know, there are three types of Liberia: the one on Facebook, the actual Liberia, and the Liberia that we perceive it to be because we're on the other side. Can I say it was a coincidence? Every one of us, when they started happening, when those bodies pop up on Broad Street in the car, it was even the president. He got up. It was on October 2nd. He said he was in the church. He said, "Can you imagine what kind of country we live in? You get up in the morning on my birthday and blam, you see that kind of stuff happening. You know, under no circumstances, no mitigating circumstances that such thing will happen in a normal country." That's why immediately he charged the police director and all of these different people call on the Americans to carry out these investigations. Now, if it is, okay, they did die out of carbon monoxide. Was this carbon monoxide injected into them by somebody? Right. So if you cannot find any cause or any foul play, why would you want to create one? You understand? Nobody want to create one.
So, Mr. I think just hold on 1 second. I think his internet service there is
so. I mean, paraded on the internet. There was no respect for the family and all of that. And so even me, when I'm discussing these things, I try to thread the needle very, very carefully because, like you said, it could be me, it could be a loved one, it could be any other person. But to assert that this government and this president is going around just taking people out for no reason, people who are doing the heavy lifting, I mean, I just don't get it. It doesn't add up to me. And
Director Weeks,
that's where I have a serious problem.
Before I go back to the callers here, you say there are two republics. There's a Liberia and the other Liberia on Facebook and all of that. What is the interpretation of that? Are we the Liberians on Facebook and you are the Liberian?
Right. If you see somebody, most Liberians, and I used to be like that when I was in the diaspora, I just paint a doom and gloom picture of the country that everywhere is burning. You know, people are dying, the country is bad, nothing good. It's just like nothing good comes out of Galilee, you know. But if those same people come and they step foot in the country, they breathe a sigh of relief. They'll be like, wow, this is not, you know, I thought this whole picture on the internet is a whole different war, the vitriolic war, the fighting, the cyber war, and all of this.
Okay. I'm not getting you. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know, something wrong with your speaker. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you clear.
Okay, yeah, much better. Okay. All right, let me go back to the line here. Maybe they get a follow-up question. I mean, this is a kind of conversation. When we're having this sort of conversation is much better. Okay, let me go to 747 number. Are you there? Is there any follow-up? I want to go to the next person.
774 number, yeah, I'm here. There's a follow-up question. And I asked him, he did not answer my question as it relates to the image of the country, given the way the reports were presented. Now, he talked about carbon monoxide. You don't have to be an expert. Mr. Weeks, we encourage you to Google how people die from carbon monoxide. You cannot be in an open space and die from carbon monoxide so easily, especially two people in a car. Okay, they were not in a garage. This is an open space. Now, I'm not going to argue that point, but I want you to answer the question as to the image of the country when you present this autopsy report.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Director Wiz, can you hold on? Let me just go to the report. That way you just hit all of them. Can you take note of that?
Let me answer him quick. That brother, yeah, he's right on the image of the question on the country that was dented. You know, when these things happen in our country, it dents the image of the country, and you are 100% correct on that front. But you know, it is not in the way that we see it. People will question, the news will come out, but then when you come out, because they were out there, the international community, they base everything on facts and science. We want to base it on sentiment and the way we think we perceive it to go, because we don't like the other guy. And when these reports came out, you had the international community backed by the Americans, and you had civil society, different media groups, and all of that. So whatever, just like the 16 billion lie that was told, right? That the money that they stole, the entire money that was in circulation in the country. So we printed only 16 billion in the entire country, and they say, oh, 16 billion was stolen. But then, yeah, we were still spending money around. Where did the other money? So that means you talk about 32 billion was in circulation. So this is the same scenario, but you are 100% correct that the death of these four individuals, I mean, they're so rest in peace, indeed did put a dent on the image of the country. But it is what it is. We had a civil war here, 250,000 persons died. It hurt the country up to this point. But we just pray that things like this don't happen again.
Okay, let me go to this other caller here. 304 number 5694. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
West Virginia.
Yeah.
I am closely following the show, and I am listening to Mr. Weeks. Mr. Weeks, I am one person. I'm disappointed. My heart is broken. What you play in this government, what position you hold in this government, but as I'm speaking to you, Liberia is not on the right path. 4 people died. 4 people died. And you guys coming out. We are not crazy people. We are all learned people. We are all sound-minded people. We're following it closely. You telling me America follow the autopsies? I want to say to you, Mr. Weeks, it's not true. I don't think America was involved into that autopsy report. Those people, Gifty and Albert, they are sound-minded people. They sat in the car and died from carbon monoxide. We all know how those things take place. Mr. Weeks, put yourself. I look at little Gifty. I look at Gifty as my daughter. I look at Albert as my brother. Take, for example, just sit down tonight when you go to bed. Think about it. Look up to God as you're sitting on that in the chair tonight and talking about these people and saying people that lie on the government and things happening. We've been to 14 years of civil war. I was born and raised in Liberia. I born my children in Liberia. I was there for the 14 years in Liberia, the civil war. And I am in tears for those people. Mr. Weeks, as you go to bed today, sit down, think about it. Think about it.
Did you lost her?
Tonight, you're talking about this government. This government is causing us problems. This government is causing us trouble. This government is putting pain into our hearts. I put those people into my own shoes. What if it were you tonight? What if it were your family? What if when your blood relative, would you be sitting there and be talking about that boy that died in Bon County, and you say he went to steal goods? I follow the case. I monitor it from the beginning to the end. But so shall it be, Mr. Weeks. God is above us. Supreme is a guilty Lana phone when her sister did not cut the phone off and say, you will see her on Broad Street. And definitely she was found on Broad Street. Mr. Weeks, today is Gifty, is Albert, is the other 2 auditor 4, the 3 missing boys. All these things, tomorrow it could be you. So watch what you're saying tonight. The world is watching you. We all are closely monitoring the social media. We are monitoring everything.
Okay.
So God be the glory.
Okay.
And if it is true, they are from NASA, so shall it be. But if it is not true, the truth has come out, and we know the truth, and the truth is there. For war unto George, we are in his government.
All right, hold on 1 second. Director Weeks, let me take this other caller, then you respond to those 2 questions. All right? Let me take the other caller, and then I can come back to you. Okay, 575924. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, good evening. This is me, Emmanuel Sumana from Virginia this evening. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Welcome. What's your thought?
Thank you so much. Let me say thanks to your guest, Mr. Weeks, for his brilliant explanation. You see, brother, Liberians, we have to learn to open our mind. We have to get angry to open our mind to learn. The lady who just left the line, you know, I didn't really call to respond, but the way she put her statement to the guest, I think she should do her own investigation. If people have any qualms with the report, go to a specialist, request for a copy, and let a specialist tells you what it is. Now, for example, people usually falsely accuse this government on wrongdoing. When journalist Tyrone Brown was brutally murdered by another man for woman issue, people blame President Weah government for killing the journalist. Even Jonathan Pelilele, what's his name? Rodney C.A. When the investigation went on, just to find out that the guy and his friend had a tussle over girlfriend, something, and he got stabbed to death. You understand? That one tendency we have, and it's horrible. Liberian, we never learn to investigate, to find the fact, and to listen to experts. We want to think. Everybody want to know. Everybody think that they know too much. Liberian, we are a country where nobody. The president not a high school graduate, but he's the best economist. The president not a high school graduate, but he's the best medical director. So that's why the country will not develop. Because everybody too know. Why will you put Mr. Weeks in the kind of situation? Say we know guilty, but put it in your shoe. What it's wrong. Right. You can't.
It's not wrong.
Hold on.
You cannot attack me.
Hello.
It's not wrong. That's my opinion.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Let me just tell you. Hold on, caller. Hold on. I am running this other train here from Grand Nigeria to the USA. We like civility. When he finish, after he's done, if you have anything you can say, I don't want us to talk in noise, then we'll be doing the service to the audience. Let us have an honest conversation. When he finish, if there's anything, I will give you the opportunity to respond. Go ahead. I want to go to Weeks.
Yeah, so my only disappointment today, I think what I wanted the government to do is to allow those pathologists that conducted the autopsy to come up with the report to the public and let the journalist ask them, that they give them the cause of the death. They would be the right person.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very valid. Yeah. That's
they would be the better person to explain the cause of death than the justice minister. That's my only thing. I think the pathologist should be the one to present the cause of death to the public, and they be questioned by journalists. But it is wrong to attack someone for things that you don't even have any idea of what happened or whether they involved or not. Mr. Weeks is doing his job. Mr. Weeks, he's a human being. He continues to say on the show that he feels for the family. Myself right here, my heart breaks for the family. But I tell you, even if there was a snowstorm in Virginia and a girl, her daughter died in the car because they left the heat on. They died in the car from a snowstorm.
Yep.
You understand? But in Liberia, until we can allow the expert to do the job, Liberia will be what it is. Because a semi-educated man is a professional economist. A semi-educated person is a professional doctor with no high school document. So that's how it is. We will continue to be that. Let us allow the professional to do the job.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let me go to Weeks. Let me go to Weeks. And I think that's a very valid point that, and like I said, I did not see that video. And I think Director Weeks.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. For you to respond, I think the last speaker here raised a very valid point. This is a very high profile case or murder or homicide, whatever identity we want to give it, and there are a lot of apprehensions. The manner in which the government, the disseminations of information, police director went there, people already temple around the crime scene. He added insult to it, took the vehicle without sealing up the crime scene, and alluded that he screwed up. Okay. Why did the pathologists, the medical examiners, those that were involved, you know that, I know that, that's what happens here. I had to make this sort of comparison here, but when you're in a country where, society is so open up, why did these people did not come before the microphone today so that we were asked, or people were asked their inside, outside down questions? So why the government keep making some mistake that shouldn't even be allowed? Why didn't happen?
That's not true. When the justice minister tried to release the report, there was the director of police was there, 100, 102 was there, and you had the solicitor general, and you had the minister of information, who is the mouthpiece of the country. And he asked if they had questions. The journalists were there, if they had any question. But now to the point, that lady was striking our sister who spoke, who attacked me, maybe to be the person who must have killed Gifty and the other brother, because that's what she's trying to insinuate, and making threat against my person. I thought that was not cool at all. I understand her sentiments and what I view, but like I told you, there are two realities when it comes to Liberia. There are people who have, they're preconceived, no matter what. You can come out here and say the report showed that maybe these people got killed by somebody. They will say, no, that somebody is from in the government. They can believe what you want to believe. Actually, I was called here to speak about the referendum, what will happen when you slip in the question regards to the autopsy, right?
Right.
And I continue to say, according to the justice minister, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how far I can go, and that's what I know. And she must know that I'm director general of a news agency, and my role here. So that means she's finding anybody guilty, even an ordinary janitor that works for the government will be guilty if he was here talking to you, if you were interviewing them on how they clean elevators in Liberia. She will come on if you had asked them, so what's about the autopsy report, and that janitor make a remark, she was going to make the same, hit on that janitor and say he killed or he knows part. And that's we need to discourage that, my sister. You cannot come out here and just say things, put yourself in that shoe. This has nothing to do with how you feel. When it comes to law, we saw in America there, where you see just you reaching out in your glove compartment when police pull you over and you get shot, and they will say, okay, the police is right in that sense or whatsoever. And the same situation, the law comes and they just say, okay, guilty. You file another law or civil lawsuit, you get paid, and people move on. And hypothetically, if the people who performed the autopsy, they came out and said, this is the report. What you want me to come on the show to say that, no, that's not the report, that they were caught up by XYZ? That's what you want me to say to make you happy? People are grieving here. So I don't think we need to open new wounds and what have you. This was a question asked by me way beyond what we were discussing, and I have to give the fact based on what I know. But for you to come out here and to say maybe I killed Gifty and the other person, I think that is totally wrong. You have your way, your will, how you feel. You could say it, but I think we should always learn to respect each other and know what line these people work. And you know, if you don't know, I'm the Director General of the Liberia News Agency. I'm not an investigator, okay? And I only tell news. There's no, I cannot craft nothing that was said today. I can't add, I can't subtract. That's my role, to say what the Justice Minister said. And that's what I will quote him to say verbatim. That's our role as journalists. So if you don't know that, I just have to explain to you.
Okay, I thank you. I think with that said, I think we have to get to the relevant, because my attention specifically this evening was drawn to the disseminations of information process based on what I saw today. So I think that's a good observation. I'm going to go back to them. I will try to reach out with the Justice Authority. Unfortunately, that's the only frustrating part. Right. Moses Carter should have appeared on the show. He did not. Maybe I got to get back to Serena C first. We can go in depth of that. And so, say it again. Okay.
I can get Moses to come on with you.
Come back to you guys here to give you guys a fair share here. Kwame is not the police chief, neither the police spokesman or either the Ministry of Justice. I wanted to get a sense of what was happening. So let's go back to our subject of discussion here, the referendum. And I was specifically focusing to why this information did not get out in the public domain with the media institutions. I saw him out there today. And I'm not sure how far this can go. And he was talking about LINA, ELBC, their representatives. They have their anchors in different countries. But my concern here, a lot is not being done. So let's go back to that baseline here to keep this the conversations on course here. 347 number, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, okay. So let's go back. Hopefully, we'll try to get people from the security apparatus or some medical examiners, if they will, to speak on this here. But let's just go back to the referendum. And the reason I call him, because he's the head of the major news wire. The largest is like LINA is almost like an AP here, Associated Press as well, to get information out. And I have a concern why this information, if the government strongly believes, if the president strongly believes, why this information wasn't so out completely, and we are coming to 13 days to the election now. How many person really going to process and give it a good thought? Do you have any question relative to the referendum in terms of the news information?
I haven't been following the referendum news, but I have one more question, one important question. It's off the topic.
Okay, let's see if we can answer that. I will go ahead.
All right. My question is: the 3 boys that was missing, and Simose, the father, the family are looking at Simose most, because Simose was the last person I seen him. My question is, do you think it's okay for the government to still be doing business with Simose right now?
So before I go to him, because it almost, let's say, so you want his opinion, right? Is that
right?
it?
Yeah, I want his opinion, because he work in the government too, so I want to hear what he got to say about that.
Okay, so all right.
Can quickly before Kwame we answer that question? Just 1 second.
Yeah, hold on now. You the second spokesman for Kwame, will you, my man? No. Hold on 1 second before I come. Is that a 610 number?
No, it's 347.
347.
Alfonso, I'm on the line. I'm not part of this discussion because you never called me.
Yeah, you just came in. I just put your number on. That's why I'm asking you the 601. That's it. You just coming on. Let me. The other person. Yeah, hold on 1 second. 1351. You spoke. Let me go to the 610-4276, and I will come to the 484 number before you come in. 610-4276.
Yeah, thank you. This is Fred.
Okay, Mr. Graham, welcome.
Yeah. Ms. Dr. Weeks, how you doing? Oh, he left.
No,
We lost.
he listening. I gotta switch the audio.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
No, Alfonso, I just called in because when I heard, first when I read the topic this evening, I heard where you're going with the weeks. I just thought I should come in here and listen and then maybe add my little voice to what is unfolding in our country. Sometimes we have to take our emotions out of these things. And so I just told a friend the other day, I said, look, we lost almost 300,000 people in our country for a senseless war. And it sounds cool to a lot of us. What is happening, what is unfolding is unfortunate. But I think we all need to take a step back, especially the question that your last guest just asked about the 3% that passed and why the government is still doing, or what the government should is right for the government to do business with Moses. If we are under the law that you're proving innocent until found guilty, unless there are credible evidence anywhere, you can't stop a business from running based on speculations and what have you. All of us people in our war, and sometimes in our country, and sometimes it is not. You hear a whole lot of stories, and then you don't know how to handle yourself. I listened to Mr. Costa this morning, and then I made a comment on his show. Professionally, if you feel that you don't believe what the government is saying, they are civil society, they are private citizens, they are opposition, you can collect money and bring in your own pathology. If you bring in your own pathology and the government said, no, we're not going to allow you to do your own independent autopsy, then of course you have a problem. But to just everything in Liberia is speculative. Everything is the government do this. Oh, the president did this. Oh, the other person did this. And sometimes for me, when I listen to those things now, I just listen, just pass on. I'm sorry their lives that were lost, but we have to professionally do things. And when I look at the country, when I look at everything, I just put everything. Look, first of all, we don't have a system. We don't our paramilitary, our military, and the police force and the criminal investigator. They don't have the tools to do the work. They don't have the tools. Right. The only way I can fault the government is, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing to beef up these people capacity so they will be able to do the work? Crime lives, making sure when anything happens, people don't just rush there. What's the thing in Liberia when something happens, everybody just jump from the houses and go to the crime scene and walk all over the place and everybody got their own opinion. Those are the areas I will hold the government. You have to beef up these people. I'm sorry, the previous government did not do it because they have the ability, because they have United Nations in the country, and they should have used that time to build up to build up our own system and put into place real laboratories and things that will fight crime. But we don't have those things. Something happen, everybody just run from their houses and go there. Oh, they kill somebody, everybody just leave and go there and start touching things. I am now forensic scientist, but at least I know that in this country, you don't just go on a crime scene and do whatever you want to do. So, Mr. Dr. Weiss and everybody in that country that is speaking for the government, they're in a very hard place because people, the speculation, the whole country is speculative. Everything is speculative.
So let me hold you, Mr. Guion. Let me just hold you right there. The speculations and this sort of apprehension comes about according to how the information is being processed. Those who have do you think GOL is doing that enough in terms of processing the information when it should be?
Well, and when you are leading a country like ours, where I believe where we are now, it still looks to me like we just came from a war. When you're leading that kind of country, it's hard. Because I've never seen a country that whatever the government says is a lie. Everything the government says is a lie. I've never seen a country like that. Why we pay these people? They are professionals. That we pay money that the government pays to do the work. And every time they speak, they lie, the government, they don't talk true. I've never seen something like that before. So who else do we go to? So that's where they are. Sometimes they want to say the things and they want to come up and say something.
All right. Let me go to this other number so Director Weeks will have the chance to respond to some event. 484 number 7354. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
How are you? This is James Jensen calling from Philadelphia.
Okay, Ty, go ahead, Jane.
Say is that we Liberians, whether we are in the country or out of the country, we have our rights. Every professional person or educated person has a right to look at a report and make analysis of a report. That's why those who have obligations, those who are paid by government resources, when they have a piece of job to do, what they present to the public are not to be gullible and accept or swallow whatever comes out from any report. Now, let me say to this report, the autopsy, in as much as we are not pathologists, but the report that came out, we listening to the Justice Minister today, we have a right to make analysis of what was reported to the people of Liberia because Liberians died. Those persons who have died will never be back to life. Their children will never see them, neither their relatives. So we are curious and concerned about how they died. Now, let me raise some critical issue here. And I want those who are listening, including you, to use their common sense and tell me whether or not this aspect makes sense. We listen to the Justice Minister. In the rational man's mind and the ordinary person's mind, is it possible that Abel Peters and Gypsy Lamont were in the vehicle and that the vehicle was overheating? And because it was overheating, the parking attendant went there, opened that door, saw Albert Peter, saw his eyes red, and saw mucus coming from his nose. And then Albert Peter told him, close my door. And he closed the door, and he left the scene. He did not inform police. He did not call anybody in his succession of duty, like his boss or somebody. Is that a rational statement? Or should we sit and just accept that, okay, they are reported and that's it? Can any ordinary person, all of us are dry, you know a car is overheating. And you know
yes, it's possible. It is possible.
Hold on.
Okay,
Give him chance. Give him chance. Let him finish. Then because I want to go
all
back
right?
to the guest. Let him make his comment.
In the rational man's mind, an ordinary person's mind, to say the car is overheating, and then you sit there and die, maybe because you're feeling so sexy, and then you sit in the car and die. When such a report is written, it raises concern, and rational man will think whether or not the information given out is indeed true or it has to be further investigated. I understand from the LINA point of view because they're almost like doing public relations. So nobody expects them to make analysis of this report. But in the strict sense of journalism or communication, people will make analysis of this report. The report is out.
So then let me ask you, and that's what I want to come up. If I want to go to the next person, let's wrap it up here a little bit. I can't keep in post here. When you say it, you make analysis. What would be the end points or the end results of that analysis? Do you adjudicate people of your analysis, or because the analysis is based on your own opinion, on your own assertion, based on the information you obtain? Correct?
My analysis or my conclusion is that the report is inconclusive. The autopsy report is inconclusive.
So do you adjudicate a person also making their own analysis or their section of the information obtained? That's what I'm asking.
No, that's not what I'm saying either. Everybody, that's what I said initially, we all have a view to be made. We do not reach a conclusion of what it is. So when somebody is asking questions, you think into it. I mean, somebody could be making some stupid sense, or somebody could be making sense. And then we all know the report is just out. We are going to be looking at it. And as somebody said, the autopsy aid is not satisfactory to those who are concerned.
Okay, let me go to the next. Okay, let me go to the next caller. And I think the last one of the speaker, I want to go to Director Weeks. I really want to know. I wish questions were asked, or the liberal progressives is calling here. Okay, just something, the line is filled now, but you either have to wait or you something. Samson, you want to say something quick?
Yeah, Mr. So I just want to say good evening to Kwame Weeks if he's still on, and we all pray for you, and we continue to pray for one another. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Your interview process, especially when you go around the country showing the different roles.
Weeks said he wants to see you on video. He's not hearing your voice.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you can tell him that if you don't mind, please.
I'll go ahead quickly. I'll get five people on hold.
Yeah, so just tell him that, especially the video that he's been showing from different part of the country, especially the road, have been very helpful for some of us. And I think if it's possible for him to get his hands on the plans of the Rawafi Highway, that would be very helpful as well. So, but anyhow, thank you and appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I sent you a message, and I really wanted you to come on here. I don't know what's your position, and the reason for that because we all began to pull around with this whole thing here with respect to carbon monoxide. And you had a experience. I just wanted us, I don't know, but I have 5 people on hold. Is it possible? I send a link. Is it possible you can chip in to share your own personal experience? What happens to you?
Yes, I can do that. Let me run down and get things set up then.
Okay, please do that. I want to get an insight of why it does when people go through that experience. Okay, I will appreciate it. Okay. Let me go back to this. Let me go to these people, Director Weeks. You know that's what we signed up for. Okay, 484, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. I want to go back to my guest.
So I mean so the report is out and we all are looking at it. The second thing I would say is that before the pathologist, the president make a statement, and he emphatically said that these people died, but they were lovers, right? And the report that's out today points to that these people were in a car for hours, suggesting that these people were lovers and were having some affairs in the car.
So hold on 1 second. Is that what the report said?
The president
that's the implication of the report. The report said the cars were parked on Broad Street. The car did not move. And these people were in the car, right?
Yeah. So
it implies that these people were having some extra affairs in the car.
No, don't twist it like that. It doesn't mean people. You can pack in.
Said these people
hold on 1 second. If you say the president said something, that's a different thing. I've been trying to pull that video for myself. But if you say, if I park in the car, or if you park in the car, people go to the morgue and stay there for whatever thing, anything can happen. I'm not judging about what the president say. I haven't heard that myself. It make it very difficult. But for you to come to a conclusion. For you to come to a conclusion because that the car was parked and they stayed there for 1 hour, so it means that's a love affair on the basis for which something happened. That's fine. Okay, let me go to Deborah here, and then I will go back to Weeks. I think he's been on the hold for long, so he will respond. Deborah, are you there?
Yes, Alfonso. How are you?
Mama G, how are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to keep well and safe.
Okay, go ahead. What's the question?
No, it's not a question. It's all about the audit that was presented today, Alfonso. If you guys can recall, the first day that they had the video up talking about the car park on Broad Street, I keep saying it. The ticket attendant, I keep saying it, is part of the person that murdered those people.
He should be. He's supposed to be. Exactly. I agree with you.
Just listen to what I said. The very first time when the reporters got on, I was on my way from work and I monitored. When I got on, I went live. I said, being a driver, I've been driving for more than 30-something years. I drove for the UN. I drove for Save the Trail. I drove for more than 20-something years. It was a blatant lie. The first thing here is there's no way 2 persons will be in a car for more than 3-4 hours. They will start to develop cramp. I used to drive from Monrovia all the way to Hapafoya. These things that we have to stop along the way to exercise our feet. How much more you just sitting in the car? The first thing here is you will want to pee. You will want to poop. All right? You will want to drink. The ticket attendant said that he saw those guys. They drove in the morning by 7-something.
Abba was the first person. Peter was the first person to come, and then Gifty followed. Afterwards, Mr. Peter got out from his car and went to Gifty's car, and the both of them walked back to Mr. Peter's car. The second lie he said was he noticed that the car was overheating, and he went to Mr. Peter and he knocked on the glass. And when Mr. Peter wound the glass down, he saw Mr. Peter's eye dripping and it was red. And then Mr. Peter said, no, it's okay. We're handling something now. A professional driver, I am telling you, there's no way any human being underneath the sun here will sit in a car and it's overheating. When a car starts to overheat, it means that there's no water in the radiator. The next thing is going to catch on fire. So you're trying to tell me those people sat in the car from in the morning until 7 o'clock as he cleaned and he left and the people were staying in the car. So you're trying to tell me the overheating did not burn the car? That's the line.
Okay.
The fourth line is how can these people have gotten out from the car when Mr. Abbott or neck was broken? When Gifty had all these things coming down her nose, how will these people have been said or have seen with these things coming down their nose in the car? The first thing here is if I'm sitting in a car as a professional driver and the fragrance starts to smell in the car, the first thing we will do is to get them because it will be very strong. It's just like when you go to the gas station to buy gas. And when you put the gas in the car, that scent will be in the car. The thing, it will be so overbearing, you will wind the car glasses down so that scent in the car can go away. How much more the car overheating and those people sat in the car? Alfonso, let me tell you something. Liberians are not stupid. I'm being very frank. We are not stupid. Those people were brutally murdered and it was a staged murder. The government will give account. I told you. George Weah had declared war on the Liberian citizens, innocent citizens, because they are in power. They are oppressing and suppressing Liberia. It is as the day of 1980 to 1989. Liberians will take revenge on this corrupt government. And all I want to tell you, it was a lie. Everything about the autopsy was a lie.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, I will really have interest. Like I said, this is way beyond. I wish to have the Minister of Justice or the those pathologists to go in depth to it. But there are a lot of things came into play. Director Riggs, you want to respond to that? I really something to because we've kind of been talking on the and he had his own personal experience. I just wanted to get his take because he's a jack of all tricks. But do you want to respond to some of the comments?
I mean, there was a caller from a caller who was saying that Liberian will be half educated and they want to be a pilot. They now graduate from 6th grade, they want to be a heart surgeon, and that's what that lady just did right now. She sounds very angry, and I think that is wrong for her to come out here, saying the president killed those people. Instead, she drive from Foya. I drove from Detroit to Minnesota 12 hours. I never got down from my car. What is she talking? What is she talking? We go to Philadelphia and use the no toll road, put our GPS on our phone. So every week we come for events. Sometimes I will drive 7 hours before I get down. They just come on this show and just yap. That's not fair. And I thought you were supposed to stop her in a trap when she was making those assertions not based on facts. If you have a preconceived political mind, you can have that. Go grab your cell phone and you can cuss the president, say anything you want to say. But when you want to investigate, like the last caller who called was saying that he made a whole lot of points and sense, that based on what they said, he was trying to poke hole into the report and said that he needs the result, the report, and gave another view as to why he thinks the report it is not what it is. you know. But to come on here, you just hear and know, say there's no way you can convince the other person like what Mr. Gwen said. You know, there are folks who their minds are made up. Liberia is a divided country. That's why the country it is what it is. You got people who are sending, I mean, how do you send $10,000 every month to build your house, and then you're calling for war in the same country? And you know, when war comes, the $100,000 horse you're bidding, people will break it down. There will be destruction. We saw 300,000 people plus, and if the numbers were just put at 300,000, you need to just triple that number to 900 that die in this country. We saw how past during the Tiller regime, what were happening here? They thought it was okay, you know. And you're gonna call a peaceful president like this man, you're gonna say, you know, he's stage murder. These are not the kind of things that I want to address. I wouldn't have addressed her, but as a journalist by profession, I think I needed to stop her in her tracks before she misinformed the people. You can drive how many hours you want to drive, and you're not there like myself. I was in Liberia, were not even on the scene. It were all based on they say. But those who witnessed the autopsy report or witnessed the autopsy, you know, before the report were presented, you know, if they are questioning because they were there, but all we can do, you know, we that were not there, and we'll be able to say what we have to say. But mind you, CO1, and you know, when you're writing these something, so long it is CO, you cannot put the number 1 there. So it's carbon monoxide. Mono means 1. It's a very dangerous gas. We saw Tiger generator killing more than 1,000 families in the country. Tiger generator, you know. And sometimes you see the window outlet will be a little bit or ajar, but they put a Tiger generator. And I'm not saying that's what the report said, but we have to go by the report. And our role in as head of the National News Agency, what you want me to do here? Go and misquote the report or tell you, say, based on your feelings? This has nothing to do how you feel. This is what the report is, and I couldn't put it out more than
Okay, well, I think something came on and he went back here. Let me just see here. There are a few callers here who have not spoken. Let me just get your take, and something will come. He had an experience of what the result of that. I just wanted him to share that. 503 number 977. Go ahead quickly. 503 977. Are you there? Oh, okay. Well, 817 number 7145. 817. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I think that was my fault.
I'm here, Mr. Slow.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What's your questions or what's your contribution?
Well, Mr. Slow, I want to tell you, guests who coming on the director, that some of the discussion really he needs to go back and revisit. Carbon monoxide killing do not break people's neck. It do not bring anything through the nose. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a slow poison. Secondly, for grown people who knows how to open door and close door, when you start to suffocate, you look for air. They would have stepped out of the car. So that is impossible. Carbon monoxide poisoning cannot kill you except you are immobile. They cannot move. So they need to go back to that country and revisit it. Now, if it was injected, then that means somebody else was involved. So that means it's not natural death. It's death by murder. So the whole autopsy report needs to be reviewed critically.
Okay.
But I'm not here for the autopsy report. Alone. It's discouraging when you hear people say Liberia is safe. You see people dying and there is no security, there is no justice. But they say Liberia is safe. Who is it safe for? For the power that leave, for those who are in authority, for those who can't get out, who is it safe for? That's the major question.
All right. Okay, let me go to the person. 503 number 9777. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sue, for the time. I mean, I don't have a question. I just got a little thing to say. So the director in studio. We really want to say thank you for his time. And there's a brother that tried to speak when the lady spoke, that tried to debunk the lady saying, but you see, this is what I got from one of my teachers in school. We say, what happened to us is us. When this thing started happening in Liberia, the Liberian people didn't just jump into conclusion and say government has hand in this. But most of the big names in the government, when they come on talk show, on radio show, things that they author, question the people's mind to believe that something is going on. So many times they come on show the things, they say things. I don't know how they understand and how people react to them. I don't know whether we think that way. Like, for example, the state Minister for State and Presidential Affairs, he got a video that was released a time ago, and he was talking why you think the government want to kill those or RA or something officials over there because they discovering ghost lists and on payroll. You think it doesn't have something to do with the people's mind? BB name coming on show like let's say General Signal. He said Liberia is safe than America. He have no reference to irrelevant things, police killing people, this, that. And things that happen.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back to base here. The day I bring the police director here of the justice minister, they are in charge of the security of the state. Let's go back to the issue of the information relative to the referendum.
Yeah, let me just. I think I will just call up because I just want to tell the director that if somebody asks a question and you don't have the answer, then he just tell them, I don't have the answer. It's been happening. Or you can't degrade somebody's output because they are emotionally traumatized already because of what people told them. People that they trust and say to them. So when you don't have an answer for everybody, don't degrade that talk.
Okay.
Don't make them to feel that they don't know what they're talking.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go to this number here. Whether something can come, then I will wrap up. 267 number, and then I got a little message waking up early tomorrow morning. 267-5983. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Franco.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
I want to ask Kwame Oldpa, Mr. Weeks. You are Director General of LINA. What is your thought as a human being? We are not against the leadership or that we are.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Are you going to the referendum, or is there any other thing you want to talk about?
Let him ask.
Directly to the referendum.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
What is your thought as a Liberian, as a renowned journalist, on this referendum that I'm using the word we because I don't want to use the word we Liberians did not understand, and the government is trying to force it on us. Can you comment on that, please? There is no education, nothing.
Okay.
Can you please educate on that?
Okay, go ahead. I think these are going to be the last caller now. I know it's kind of a little bit late there. Thank you. Let me go back to him. Director Weeks, are you there?
Yeah, I think we go to Samson. Go to Samson, then we'll come back and I'll answer that caller.
Okay, the Liberal Progressive, are you there?
Yes, Liberal is here. Bloku is here. Let me bring smile to my man face a little bit. He put me. I got a question tonight. We're nice seeing you again. Nice seeing you. No, before I came out, I was just saying to Alfonso that you, especially the kinds of work that you're doing, you really been enlightening. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, because you go into these things.
Because it's not allowed.
Excuse me?
He's not a liberal, so why are you surprised?
Mr. So please let me speak with Mr. Kwame Oldpa here, please. So the point that I'm making here is when you go to these kinds of stuff, not necessarily trying to secure your job. Because I listened to the interview you had with Mabutu. It was a very tough, and someone who was not an engineer, it was a very tough questions you were asking the minister. And then when you had the Minister of State, Honorable McGill, the question was very sincere. And I really appreciate all of that. I think you're somehow doing more than what I think people actually looking at. And the one that I really enjoy is the fact that you're going from city to city. When you do that, you show the role of the construction or whatever happened. And they give me pleasure because from those kinds of video, I can detect what is happening and be able to make my own show out of those things. And so I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate the kinds of work you're doing, giving us information. I think the government, I hope the news found whatever it is with Mr. McGill now saying more, it will be better for them to engage. But other than that, I'm really enjoying your show from time to time.
Thank you, man.
So, yeah, okay. You're done with Adekola said.
Yes, something I want to point out. I think you asked me earlier about the carbon dioxide. Let me just give you my own experience. Then Mr. Director can come out and say that. Biking so many years ago in Ohio, I had my car heater went bad, so I wanted to fix the heater. It was in the winter time, so I decided to close the garage and run the car so that the heat from the car, even though it didn't have heater, but I thought the heat from the engine and what have you, since I'm underneath the dashboard, I will be able to get some heat from the engine. So not knowing that I was putting myself in danger. So when I brought the garage door down, the car was on. I wasn't on the dashboard for more than 10 minutes. I couldn't even move. A girl could have it. My kid's mom came, opened the door, and saw me lying right there on the step. She pulled me by my shirt and pulled me in the house and closed the door. I couldn't breathe. And when I was taken to the hospital, they told me you almost kicked the bucket, so to speak. But it was just that much. So carbon dioxide, they're very dangerous, especially if the leak is coming from underneath the car. While your air conditioner is running, they're very dangerous because you can't smell it. They are odorless. So I think our brothers and sisters, but then again, Opa Weeks is in a perfect position because he used to be here and he used to be one of the biggest skeptics of all. So to have skeptic now and he answering questions from skeptic, I'm enjoying myself.
Hold on one second. You see what Honey said, Deborah, this is why I don't like you people. You always like to give your opinion when other people speak, then they say they want job. That's ridiculous. You need to stop that. That sort of behavior is just not good.
But if I want job from Opa Weeks, that's fine.
No,
work for him. Who cares for these people, Alfonso?
I don't like people to know. For me, I care because I don't like people to be disingenuous in their conversation. When you say yours, when other people say it, then you come to a conclusion that somebody wants job. Come on, you should know better than that. Please don't go there. And that's the reason. That's one of the reasons I call you, because when this whole thing started, we all began to figure out what happened, and just while we're on the air here, and somebody also texted me. The history of this thing here is very dangerous, and most of all don't know. And the reason I call you was, that car there, I almost died. That's what you say. I said, what was it? And that was the very first thing that you raised. But the other caller here came, why did the government, why did it even bring all of these people? In fact, that was not the point of discussion. I just decided to ask Kwame. I heard that I was not the station manager told me that you see the report today. I said no, but we'll find time. But I just decided to bring in that 430 people die accidentally from this sort of CO pricing.
Yes,
550 million people always go to the emergency here. There was an experience, but Liberia water is different. and that was a couple of years ago at work. One of our workmates, the dangerous one is when it snows, and then your zop or whatever it is, if it is in that snow, if you don't clean behind it to let the air to go out, and you sit in that car to say you want to run that car to warm the car, there's a co-worker almost died from that, and we just didn't know it. But yet by coincidence, somebody went out to get a car there, and he was all like that, killing himself unknowingly. However, I think one of the problems here, the processing of information and how government went about to get this information out is a challenge. It's a problem. That's where the problem is. And I'm disappointed in the advocacies and all of the human rights people here, because these are things they're supposed to press forward. You can see here when things happen, if they do not trust the government, they go extra mile to make sure to disprove what the government is saying. And I think we're not being doing enough with that. I think the family, people who have insisted to say, hey, we want this, we want a second thought or the second opinion on this result. I'm not sure whether that happened, but I know one of the family members said, oh, the government denied them, whether it is true or they did not witness the process, whether it is true. But Kwame, I want you to respond to some of these stuff yet, and we're going to wrap up. I know you say you get our own brother and friend tomorrow, but it will be removed from St. Moses tomorrow. Go ahead. I don't want to keep you here for the over the time to be able to wake up tomorrow. Go ahead.
I just want to tell the big brother, the progressive liberal, thank you so much for that assertion. And I mean, as Liberians, I understand the pains and the frustration, but I mean, you know, we were all in the same boat before. Yes, I'm from Grand Jita, and we saw what happened to Samuel Doe, and because of that, we were made to understand. And when we're growing up, I hated Charles Taylor, Prince Johnson, all of these people. But today, you see, we all live here together, and finally, peace has reigned, in Liberia, and we can move forward. But some of the colors, and I just want to say to the brother who say, when people make their opinion, yes, but don't forget, I represent the government in propagating developmental journalism issues and other issues in the country. Now, our role as journalists is not to, make something different from the actual fact it is. And we do not go and see 3 apples and then we say it was 3.5 or 4. We were asked based on the autopsy report, and we were reading back what was read by the justice minister. For some people to come out here to say, oh, you must shine your eye, it could be you, and those kind of stuff, I think that's wrong. That's wrong. There are a lot of good things happening in this country. If you think Liberia is not safe, we were thinking it is safe, we're here. But I don't think when on these shows, not a Liberian show will never end good. You saw people out of the accusing the host, insulting the host man, and all that. How can so people, you find most government officials that already in their shelf already, they get scared when you send an invitation. Say, I'll go on that show there. If Alfonso saying won't like it, the people then down there will start cussing my man. They will start saying things. They will call me names and all that stuff. So I think everyone that came on the show was a great thing. The idea they can stand to watch all through, 2 hours and 14 minutes means that you have something special to offer for them to listen to. And people are homesick. I live in the States. You go down there in our country, you don't got nobody to visit you, or there's so much depression, job, you don't cut corner like here. Sometimes we have job, we can just walk down the road, play, we come back upstairs and all that stuff. You can't do that on American man job. If you're supposed to stand for 9 hours, you will stand for that time. So the rules there are right. The rules there are straight, and I understand the frustration and how people want to come back home to the country, and they feel that, okay, this government, they're not in their interest. If you're not here, if government, you can't work for government. Like the other person, you want job. How you gonna look at Mena Alfonso or the progressive who got his place look like the Oval Office now? You say he want job. Look at where that man sitting now.
To be honest with you, right? That is
Right.
something ridiculous when people say they want a job. Who doesn't want a job? Who doesn't want to work for a government? You don't want to learn. You don't want to give up. It's not a matter of wanting the job. Your honesty that you're taking in government, your sincerity to go serve your people. That's the question. All of these people, all the people that are doing it, you think they don't want job? The opposition or the government people. Why you think people are in the street being behind those politicians? It's the one job. They want to be incorporated. But what is important is their honesty as to whether they will serve their country or are they going to bankrupt the country as well. That's the question.
Yeah.
Of course.
And Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. I want to do it. Let me do it with honesty and on a good environment. Let my voice be heard. Let me have a leadership. Let us, work as a team. That's why it's important. Who doesn't want a job? Any politician or people who say they don't want a job, that's a big lie. Then
the President-elect Biden couldn't put it any better than he said, your job is not about your paycheck, but it's about your country, your service to your country. So sometimes even you're not paid good, you're not taking pay. Look at this other thing they keep spinning. Oh, people not taking pay, which is a big lie. Every government civil servant here, government not owe them 5 cents. The people where government owe, if a government...
Those marketeers were crying today, Director General, that because their market is not being bought because people are not... I guess some of their husbands or people in their government.
Let me give you this information now, Sam, what's his name, Alfonso. The people come out here and they say government not paying people. It's a lie. Nobody here government owe. When government owe you, that means your ministry hire other people to do contract. But it been 11 months since harmonization was introduced. Government do not owe no civil servant $5. Everybody, we're not waiting for November pay now as we speak. So if you say, for example, you get the justice ministry that handle their own pay and thing. If they don't pay people on time and the finance ministry send the money to them, it's up to them. Say health ministry, if they hire people on the side and they didn't pay those people to go on strike, it's different. But those who are working directly, those ministry, government agency and ministry that work, government pay all of them from up to 11 months now.
So are you saying salary is up to current besides the November?
More than current, and quote me and say the Director General say. Okay.
Let me just say something here very quickly, please, if you don't mind. The lady that continued to say that I'm here for a job. First of all, Opa Weeks is a brother, first thing. And so even though I know people are watching and he's a big shot, but when I see him like that, the excitement, the feelings of brotherly excitement takes over. And so sometimes we speak and make fun. But to be honest with you, those of you that continue to say that I'm looking for a job and what have you, don't forget, I've already been with these people. I've done some design and sent it out there. So I'm not in this for a job. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. I don't want the job. I don't want job. First of all, I'm not even qualified to get any job in Liberia. First thing. But I don't want job. When I go to Liberia, I do it for myself. I do it when I was there the last time, teaching was free. They don't pay me anything. Everything that I've done in terms of engineering work in Liberia, free. Nobody will come out and say we pay something to fasten. Nobody. So, but you can speculate. You come out here and let's have fun. If you're going to have fun at my expense, go ahead and do so. You more in faith, I block you. You can't do nothing to me. What's wrong with you? It wasn't your time. Go ahead.
The issue of this job here, who is in the country that really wants to be on welfare and you don't want to work? So why you don't want to? I want a job, but the issue is not an issue you want a job, but what are you taking on the job, your productivity? Are you going to change the narrative, or are you going to add up to the already situation that is just not right? So I don't understand when people say that, well, who really doesn't want to work for their government? People want to work for the government, but I think on state
Government
integrity,
trade.
what we are talking
Trade.
about, everybody
Right.
want a state job here. Why? Because it's a benefit. They feel proud working for their country. So I don't people who say they don't want government job. That's lie. They are being very deceptive. They are not honest, or because maybe they have different things on their sleeves. Director Wick, I don't want to keep you that long again. Yeah, how you saying tomorrow? I'm just getting a message here to the late minister official. In fact, you have started the book of condolence open already, right? They'll be removing the body tomorrow.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I will be at St. Moses between 6 and 7 a.m. Mount all our cameras, and you can follow us. We can relay on your platform, and by 10 a.m. the body will be moved from the St. Moses Funeral Palace, and then the procession will head directly up onto LMP. That's on Capitol Hill on the bypass right there. Booster Quarter and the bypass right there. And then everyone will get off, and then we're going to march with the body directly to the rotunda.
Rotunda, Capitol Hill. Yeah, we've been making preparation for our guys to be there, but oh my goodness, that's a very heavy one tomorrow. Well, Director Weeks, I want to thank you so much for taking off your time to be here. We hope to be doing this routine later. There will be a point with this agreed on policy, but I think it is important to have this sort of conversation here. And I would not want to dwell on apprehensions and the sessions or sort of guess game, to give people a fair shot, whether they're saying it the right way or not, but at least I have the opportunity to get to your versions. That's what news is all about. You have to proportional. You can't disadvantage news. And I think it's a need that we have this sort of conversation over and over so that, we're not, again, we will not control the thoughts of the people. We don't sanction voices here unless if you go over the top, then of course we as an institution, we are obliged, we have our own policies of regulation. So if your freedom of speech will infringe, we abuse other people, then of course we have the ability to also come down hard on you. What's your last word?
My last word is just I want to encourage those who've been watching by the tens or hundreds. I mean, our presence here, we're doing a piece of work. We encourage you, to call your family back home because the referendum is going to affect you. At one point, maybe you will say, "Oh no, all my children in our country," but you never know what affects a friend affects you. We cannot get back from in our country's decision making, and don't let this put you down. If you have any other questions or qualm, the authorities to ask, and make sure you get good information or the right information before you start reacting the way some of you were reacting. And no disrespect, one love, and I'll see you guys the next time we're invited on this platform.
All right.
So before Kwame go, I just want to ask him a favor, Mr. Weeks. If you have the opportunity, is it possible to get your hand on the IRA role plans? And perhaps you think the public work might allow people to view those? And one request, and the last request is it possible? Because I know you're Bisha now, so is it possible to send somebody to Doe community and just do a video for Doe community? Because when they were constructing the Doe community road, I was one of those that was against the process, the construction process. So I want to know what the road look like now. Maybe if I need to e-crawl here, I need to e-crawl on live because I've said something that perhaps I have to take back. Let me do so. But if I can get my hand on that, I will appreciate it.
Okay, I can get the Doe community thing for you. On the plan for the RIA, I will ask the Deputy Minister, Mr. Todd, and find out whether it is doable or whether they can allow that. If I see him tomorrow, it won't be a good time to ask him because the guys are mourning. Mabutu is our own brother.
Right.
Yeah, he went to school in Grand Jita. He's not wise true. He's from Sino, but that's our brother right there. So we,
right.
and he's the way he passed, it's been so sad. So, but I can get the inquiry on one. Consider it done. The Doro community. I'll send you the recording before the weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell him to call the Ministry of Public Works. He knows better than that. Why will you tell Kwame to send you stuff? I'm not hearing you. So I'm not hearing you.
Kwame, you stay out of it. Kwame is half liberal and half conservative. Please don't start your conservative idea here with me this evening, please.
Grace. All right, man. Director, we thank you so much, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. Something. All right. I think pretty well. And I think there's a gentleman who asked a valid question here. I'm not sure to whether Serena Seaforth or maybe the Minister of Justice, why I did not see the video today of that report for whatever reason. I'm going to trace it. I think it was manager not told me, but why I'm wondering why the medical examiners, they themselves were not involved. If they were there, why they did not kind of give the official and explain the medical conditions, terms, or all of the scenarios involved. Instead, it was just they just released it. I'm quite sure when these things happen yet, medical practitioners they stand right there and they give it and then able to take few questions. But I don't think that happens today.
Well, Mr. So I'm in dark as well. I have not been able to peruse the Facebook today. I've been very busy. I've been holding my own here with the kinds of work that I've been doing. The people are driving me nuts. I want to go back to Town right now and all that kind of good stuff. So I've never had the opportunity to go and look at things. So the only reason why I called in earlier and I'm on here now, it's just that I was excited to see Kwame Weeks on our platform, and I just wanted to come in here without me going to politics and what I just want to say. It was good to see Director Weeks and some of the things that he has done, and I'm overall I'm just excited that Director Weeks is on our platform. So the politics, people calling me names and stuff, it doesn't bother me. It don't matter. So, but let me just say this. If what you're saying, if this is what's happening, these are some of the complaints that some of us have. If you're going to come up with, if Liberians are not stupid, you can't put wolf over Liberians' eyes anymore, especially in the day of social media. If you're going to come out and say something, say it, put it out, and let people make their judgment. Don't try to say I will help them to make that judgment. You're making a mistake.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what basically I just wanted to get your input on this yet. I think our transition is ongoing as planned, right? The transitions of Omen Body now is GSA administrators now give way, even though the Goliath.
So you and Pat George are in trouble.
What are you talking about? Trouble for what?
Oh, what? You don't know that? The conservatives, especially the diaspora conservative that was holding on to Trump coat suit, they're done. You got no more place. We already on a very serious note, Mr. So, and this is what's going to be my show come Friday. On a very serious note. Can I just say this?
No, I think Bendu, I believe Bendu Dua is asking what I want the video. Yeah, the video for I'm quite sure that the video for today's press conference. If you have that, I would appreciate if you can inbox me that video. Like I said, for some reason, I did not see that video today. I believe they say it was on Power TV. I didn't see Spoon or maybe Front Page Africa. I don't know. It looked like my notification with Power because I subscribe to all of those network. I always get a light. I always like to, even if I'm busy at work, I always like send it to myself and then later on watch that. So Bodu, not Bendus. I'm sorry to do it. Please, if you have that, I would appreciate it. You don't send it to my personal or LIB messenger. We will appreciate that. But I think it's important to get the rightful authorities. And that's the frustrating part of it. Moses Carter, who is the police chief, You remember, of course, what his name said, Serena Cephas here the other day, and he threw it right at me to say the investigation is still ongoing. It's still within the police purview. He has not reached his desk, from his desk, the Anthony, the AD, and then they will take it on from to see whether a crime or people. So, and that's the bureaucracy is in every government. So I really want to talk to Director Carters or those that are really in charge. Maybe Dr. Francis Carter, Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Health. They are the people in charge. Hopefully they will answer our call. I don't know. Nothing is guaranteed.
But one of the things Mr. Wigg stated here earlier that I found out very interesting is that when he made the assertion that many of these people are kind of concerned to come to these platforms, believing that people will cost their mind, and I think they should. These are some of the things that we'll continue to say to our brothers and sisters, because we, the Liberian diaspora, we all want information. But if people are willing to provide the information, that does not mean you should believe it, but give the person the opportunity to express it and say whatever he wants to say. It's up to you to make up your mind. It is up to us, those of us that have these kinds of platforms, to avail to some of these people for you to hear what is happening. But when we do that, if people come and call you names and whatever. But anyway, let me point out before you leave. Let me point out something that was very interesting. I want to point out. In fact, it's going to be my show on Friday. Do you remember Madam Greenfield? Used to be like from American ambassador in Liberia.
Yeah,
grew up in Liberia. Went to, I believe, elementary or high school in Liberia somewhere. Okay, she's now been tapped to be at UN. Very close to Madam Salif. Very close to the sisters of Liberia. It's going to be very interesting. Do you find it ironic that the vice president is now on her own? Do you see where I'm going with this? Maybe people say, oh, something just speculating. But listen to this. If this lady is picked, and which she had, she's over there representing America at the UN. You think the CDC will try to mess with the vice president? Knowing fully well that she's part of the sisterhood in Liberia? It's going to be very interesting in the next 2 to 3 years. Unless Dr. Weir and CDC go back to the drawing board with the vice president and apologize to her because she's been putting into a lot of stuff. You have that young man on his platform insulting her. She also been complaining about X, Y, and Z. All of those things will be resolved. If not, the lady you see the tune she's singing it, telling people, you're eating money, that's stolen money. This is the word that is coming from the mouth of the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Interesting, Mr. So. Interesting. It's going to be my show. It's going to be a hot show on Friday. There's no question. I'm not taking call from no conservative. You want to call my show, you better be a liberal. If you're not a liberal, I will not take your call because we liberal were in control now.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you as it is.
What do you have for dinner today?
Mr. So, my last son, the 11-year-old, just cooked.
In the last 10 years, there's one guy being 11. Every time you come here, every year you
11. No, 11-year-old. 11. Because of him, I'm not going to Liberia right now. So 11-year-old, we started aging when he was 7.
From Helen Johnson Sally first term, my 11-year-old. From Helen Johnson second term, my 11-year-old.
Well, he's 11. He's 11. My 11-year-old, for whom I'm not going to, I'm not going to go to Liberia right now. He just cooked me a breakfast. It's what time? 5 something. He just cooked me breakfast. So I ate the breakfast.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. My own son Guillaume called me. He called me today. Say the labor almost burned our house down because you were cooking flour. So he doesn't want to cook for it, sir. So 18 at 2:30, you bring here, you want go burn it, you want burn it.
If I have to cook, anybody that left their village, come to Monrovia, go to school in Monrovia, that person can cook. Man or woman, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you don't know how to manipulate the stove and all those kind of things. So
I need in total they have stove and a fire they can use. So I saw the latch.
So that you pour some wood together in the people's house today.
I'm from Town. What you want me to do? I'm gonna come play with stove and yaman like that. Big yeah.
Oh, you didn't even know the labor called me today. He said, "Oh, uncle, Daddy almost burned our house out."
They will see fun.
He said he wanted
to come and play with stove turning like that. The fire can cook with.
So all these road, the road is elevated and the slope.
Forget both business. Why are you talking about the road? I'm talking about cooking, fire coal.
So I'm saying
the next thing I come to do that copper I come in low for now. So that copper, that one the elevation.
There's a crumble left fire coal. You put fire coal in the palava sauce and all.
But no, I put fire coal in a palm water to make it a little bit darker.
Wow. You a case, man. What? Yeah, Gion. Well, anyway, we're gonna be okay. I think okay, thank you. I will check for that. I really want to listen to it, and I hope that's a frustration. And I think we need to kind of change course. With that happen, that I can guarantee, because I don't care why it takes, even though they say 12 years, but I don't know what is 12 years. And when I say it, and you say I sound condescending on your people. But again, I listened to the interview today with LIBERIA New Agency Kwame Weeks in Raleigh. And believe me, the people are so downhearted. They are heartbroken. They are disappointed. They are outraged about their government, to the extent people say they're not even voting. They don't even know about the referendum. All right. So what is going on here? And so people are doubt whether the participations, what we anticipate, whether it will really even come to light. And the other letter said, this is where George Weah came from. We put in there, we printed our own t-shirts. I'm not sure whether this sort of message is resonating. And the disappointment, not just on it, I blame the government. They do not, the information dissemination is very poor, it's ineffective. However, those lawmakers, it's a separate institutions of government, have their own authority. All of the senators running around here, a little chihuahua, they're all looking for a job. None of them has even mentioned. So I'm not sure whether they are in support of it, where they stand. Why? Because they are so much protective of their job, but they raise millions of dollars from in the diaspora, other places outside of Liberia, which is also a violation of the campaign. People, you must be a qualified voter before you can donate to campaign. But we have an election commission here in an area. You have to be a citizen before you make a donation to any campaign. That's why even campaign, they will ask you of your status. Other than that, they can't take it because they will be held accountable. They have to give report. How many of those people will come out tomorrow to tell us, hey, this is how much we raised for our campaign, this is the leftover, and this is how we're going to do it? No, people raise money, they don't give account. They take money from anywhere. You heard the other guy yesterday, the candidate from Maryland I was talking to. He controlled them only $7,000 can be used. How is that 7,000? What is the regulations? How is it being monitored? How is it being regulated? Or is just a figure to just make out a figure to throw it out? These are many things that we really need to talk about. But I think we need to adapt a new system, the systems of tolerance, discipline, that we can be able to engage. And that's what Kwame said. And I was saying that because when you call these people, both the government and the opposition, other than they do the same thing. They have places where they feel comfortable they can go. When you call them and say, I will come. And you will do a publicity. And the next time they don't show up because they get the ears of other people. Or when you go there, this is what's going to happen to you. It's terrible. And if we keep doing that, believe me or not, it doesn't matter who is there today, but it will be a continuation process. Who are you feeling sorry for? Your man being there ever since. So why are you folding your hand there like some kind of
as you're talking, I internally reflecting on Liberia in the past. and we have not changed. To be honest with you, opposition, disposition, whatever you want to call them, they are not doing us a favor either. Now, Mr. So, seriously, these people, I'm not too sure. And we, like the comment you said people are making from Cloud Town, okay, those are genuine statements. Okay, now you just 2 days, two or so many days ago, the government came up with the stadium, said the stadium was full. Why not people make the other statement? Number one. Second thing is, if the opposition serious about referendum being carried out, educational process and things like that, why didn't they start that long time ago? Why didn't they start that process long time ago? Because they wanted to show that they themselves can put the career in the, or say in the government career. That's not how you protect your people. You fight for your people. Look up. There's a guy in Uganda, Bobby Wine, Wino, whatever they call him, young guy.
He's the only authentic opposition I see.
He's giving serious problems to that old man.
They are all noisemaker.
But our people, that dance, that's it. Nothing else. But it's very sad. But one thing I can assure you, Mr. So, without any doubt, we're confident, Dallas Dillon and the lights going to shine. There's nothing any of you can do about it. You can't do nothing about it from America. You can't do nothing about it from in Liberia. Dallas Dillon light will shine. That's it. If I were you and the sedition, y'all come to our way and support Dallas Dillon.
Which way? Which way?
What do you mean, which way?
Yeah, you said come your way. I want to know which way am I going?
Come to the Liberty Party. Come to the opposition.
We party.
Defeat the CDC. Simple as that.
Liberty Party, you say?
That's what I just told you.
Liberty, that's one of the disaster political parties.
Ah, here we go. Here we go. Now you're going to call my party a disaster. Liberty Party, where the most intellectual, Liberian intellectual reside in Liberty Party.
Intellectual way. Samson too? Who?
But you forget about me. Look at our leader, political leader, the madam,
Madam
educated.
Madam who?
Mr. So, you need to go visit the Liberia. You've been in the country too long. You've forgotten who the Liberty Party political leader is?
Please.
I'm not here to teach you on those things.
Lawrence, all of this, they are all the parties in Liberia, all of them. I always said that social club. That's what you guys doing.
Mr. So, you're missing the boat.
No, you missing it. This is why your party does not have a structure. What his name said, Charles Bronskind and all of those people. What's the history of Liberty Party? What's the history of any of these political?
If Liberty Party don't have structure, according to you, all the other political parties don't have structure.
All
don't have structure.
None. They are all social clubs.
Oh, but you agree that Liberia is not a banana republic. Liberia is a republic of Liberia where laws reside. Agree?
All of these people, they are all greedy people. It's all about
okay.
Also,
I can see the anger. The fact that Donald Trump is being dethroned, the anger in you is showing so much. I can't control that. I can't help you with that. I can't help the fact that we're taking all of you conservative. Because you're upset. You're upset with the liberal taking control of the entire world once more, trying to make it good for most of you to survive.
The liberal attitude in the U.S. is far different from that of the liberal view, because you people does not have the guts, if your people doing the wrong way, to come out to say it. You become more selective, judgmental into your argument. You only buy into the soundbites of the people that you support, and that's very dangerous for the wealth of for our country. How's that,
Mr. So? Go back to sleep, wake up. Maybe you will wake up on the side of the liberal progressive. Because the liberal, what I hear is, Mr. So, let me finish my statement. Why you keep interrupting? That's what I don't understand about you. But anyway, that's what you guys do. But my point here is that, Mr. So, the liberal, what I hear in the United States or in America, in Liberia, liberal progressive, the idea of liberalism is the same. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed from time to time. A liberal idea. As a liberal, you're saying, what is this? Let's approach it as a group. Let's approach it from a broad perspective as a group. By the time we get to that thing that we're trying to solve, many of you will come up with different ideas on how to get this idea, how to get this situation resolved. As a result of that, by the time we get to it, we have so many solutions. It's easy. Conservative, they say you and Pa George, you always say, my way or no way. What is this? You think that Soviet Union, yeah?
We are moderate. We look at it.
Moderate, my foot. Moderate. Conservative. Mr. So you're killing me. You're calling yourself. How can you be moderate when you say my way or the highway?
No, we just only want you to give us a convincing idea, not just wake up.
What convincing? What convincing? You're what conservative. When it comes to law, you're strict. You call yourself a strict constitutionalist. What the people say is exactly what we're gonna. Life is not like that.
You have
to allow yourself to evolve into things.
You are giving the wrong definitions of mind to what I represent and things that I believe in. All right, I am a
conservative. Your conservative idea have not changed.
Are you asking me or are you telling me? Or because
no, I know that. I know who you are. You're conservative. I know.
Now you are running judgment because I'm
not running judgment. I'm telling you that you are okay. Let's put it. Let's just give it one or two tests, Mr. So. In Rhode Island, we're going to go ahead.
Even sure of the question. You are uncertain of the question that you want to ask. So I don't know. Can you give me a second go and then ask me?
Okay, Mr. So, can I ask you a question?
Do you agree with me?
Agree with you on what?
You are unsure of your question that you want to ask.
Why would a liberal progressive will be unsure what comes out of his mouth? Before it comes out, he has already turned it 4 or 5 times.
The question is being judgmental, and this is why you find it very difficult.
How is that judgmental when I know who you are? I'm not judging you.
Ask an open-ended question. Your question is being judgmental. That's why you want to make your opinion there. Go ahead.
Mr. So, far from it. Far from it. I know that you and Pa George, you're hanging on the coattail.
You are making an educated guess game. I know you and Pa George. So this seems to be something.
It's not an educated guess. I know that for fight. This I can say I know for fight. Because I have had so many interactions with you and Mr. George. So I know where you guys stand.
And what is the conclusion of that?
What do you stand on? What do you stand on capital punishment? It's a question. Can't count your tongue. Where do you stand on capital punishment, Mr. So?
Do you want to know?
What do you mean? If I didn't want to know, why would I ask the question? Where do you stand on capital punishment?
You're not answering my question. Do you want to know?
Mr. So, the entire world want to know, where do you stand on capital punishment?
The entire world, you are interested. You want to know. Just ask me.
Okay. Folks, this is what I've been saying. He will not answer the question. Like brother man said, he will dance around. Then before he knows, they will run out of town. Goodbye, Mr. So. That's what he come and say now. Mr. So, where do you stand on capital punishment?
Laws of the land has to be implemented. They must be enforced. They must be interpreted by the court, giving people a fair and expeditious trial before a competent jurisdiction. And when the court takes a decision, we believe in what the laws or what the court interpret.
There we go. Folks, you heard it. Was there any deviation? Was there any vacillation? Or was there any way from the statement he made? Was there any way that you're going to be able to interpret that perhaps it might be evolving?
So you support lawlessness. That's why you are saying you don't believe in the
decision. When you say we are evolving, they consider you lawlessness. This is how they consider liberal. The real is a reason, Mr. So.
I told you I'm a combination of both. But unfortunately, you just you move like a guy who move in a detour direction, And that's why you are trying to do. You don't respect the law. You compromise the laws of the land. You do not
respect the it is not, it doesn't, they don't call it compromise.
Yeah.
Evolving. Here's the issue, Mr. So. If a man is guilty, whatever crime, and you want to punish him,
whatever crime, be specific, which crime? So we'll talk about that.
Capital crime.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. Capital crime.
Okay.
And then you want to execute this person. The liberal are saying, Mr. Let me finish, please. The liberal are saying,
what are the conditions to tell why is he committing a capital crime?
Mr. So, why you want me to be like a medical doctor? That's not the point.
I need to know. I need to have all of the.
No, you don't need to know that part because I'm not a medical doctor. If I tell you why he's committing crime, then I have the insight of his knowledge. I don't.
If you're not a medical doctor, why should you talk medical issue? You are engineer.
What is the medical issue? Because you will not let me talk. So, folks, this is how he behaved. He will not let me finish my statement. Here's the point, Mr. So. Let's say the man commit a capital crime. The court condemn it.
You are not certain of your point. Let's say,
Mr. So, I'm giving you, please, let me finish my point. You see, this is who he is, folks. The conservative.
You are acting like a drinking gardens. You don't want to be definitive. You want to just pull things, ropes all over the place.
Mr. So, this is how he's going to manipulate the show. And then before he goes, the clock on the wall finish, now we're going to say bye-bye. Without me uttering one word.
No, here's the thing, Mr. So. Speaking with a lot of ambiguities, you need to let my audience know. Let's say what?
Mr. So, let me finish my statement, and then you come back and then come with something that at least people.
So, Samson, you know me you've been knowing me for a long time. I like for people to speak with clarity. Don't
put me. You're listening to the English language. I like. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, to speak with clarity, but you are putting all of us, the audience, in a basket of deplorable this evening here, and you want
No, far from it. I'm getting ready to lecture you and the audience in terms of why the liberals believe the way I believe. Here's the issue. Let's suppose somebody commit capital crime. They could have found him guilty. Punishment is set. The liberal are saying, good, thank you. But do you think that this human being deserves to be redeemed by himself? He's a human being. Let me finish. So you go in and say, can we rehabilitate? You conservatives do not believe in rehabilitation.
No,
you do not believe in rehabilitation. You do not believe that somebody can redeem himself.
I told you I'm a combination of both.
How is that?
I'm a moderate, and based on the court decision. So why did you first of all take the case to court? It is the court to adjudicate that person.
But after that, the society, as a liberal, as a progressive, you say, let's see if this man can be redeemed, or let's see if this person can be redeemed. Because he committed crime, does it mean that he's no longer should be part of the society? No, we're saying to you, give him the opportunity, the second chance.
Okay, let's see.
What do they do? They don't do that.
I think your brother Anthony Gay calling here. Let me see where Anthony Gay has to call because already to Mr. Anthony Gay, are you there?
I'm here. I'm enjoying both for you.
This guy, every time he's a problem. This is a guy who yesterday for the last 2 days I have helped him out on a high technical level, and he's not even recognizing that, and he think he want to kind of snort me here. Go ahead. Are you with me or not? Or are you with me?
No. So here's the thing. I want to balance the equation here. I'm not for either one of you, but let us balance the equation.
You want to be dog, be dog. You want to be cat, be cat. You're not with me. You're not with me. So who are you? You're with ANC, right?
What does ANC have to do with it? So are you a Trump supporter for real?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, your message would you article people businesses B1, B2 will pay
Anthony, hold on 1 second.
$15,000.
Anthony,
yeah,
this is unbelievable. I don't know what there's total man Juju really working. Look at my man Budu Dua who just sent me a video say Mr. To win the debate. Yeah. What are you talking about? Are you serious?
No, but actually, maybe that you gotta watch that video yourself. You're not allowing Mr. To talk. And when you do that in a debate, that's a sign of defeat. Don't do that.
The man is throwing red meat. The man is throwing red meat out there. So I'm not.
This is the guy that sits on the coattail of Donald Trump. That's how the debate. They don't let you know.
Okay, no, Samson, hold on. Samson, hold on. After Anthony, I will come back to you. Don't think I don't sanction you, please. You talk, even though I will not agree with you.
You said something that prompted me to call, and you said, liberalism is all about lawlessness and things of that nature. I think the conservatives most often use that phrase. When you watch Fox News, you will hear that most often.
Yeah, we go. Samson told brother
Samson
told brother from Grand G, they're passing through.
Hold on, Mr. So. But the truth needs to be told. One, I am a Christian. I'm a believer of Christ, and Christ died for my sins. So let's get that one out of the face. I'm a Christian. Okay, I'm a believer. So now, when it comes to the role of a government. And that's why they have separation of church and state in this country.
Sure.
But the Republican who claims to be God-fearing don't have second chance in their mind. And so they against abortion, but they are for capital punishment. That is a double standard. Why? Because abortion is the same life it's taking. Capital punishment is the same life it's taking. You for police shooting people in the street, but you're not for injustices in the criminal justice system. Those kind of things is a double standard. You cannot be against abortion and then at the same time, in the same sentence, be for capital punishment. Capital punishment isn't the same life you take in that you're supposed to be pro-life. That way I have a problem with them. You cannot be for capital punishment, killing people because they commit a crime, but be against abortion. Isn't it the same life? Please help me understand, Mr. Soul.
So what is the fault with the liberal? The liberal progressive, and are you siding with him or what? But first of all, I made my position clear. I'm a strong believer.
The argument the liberal made is that they are against capital punishment because they think that human beings should have a second chance or third chance to.
But that's the way. But I made a crystal clear. I made a crystal clear. I said I'm a moderate.
When a man commit a crime, they get punished for the crime.
Right.
But after the punishment, there should be a chance for them to survive.
Exactly.
You don't take it to an extreme and kill them and terminate them. The government can afford to feed them for the rest of their life, so you kill them.
Look, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Taige. This guy here, I don't even open your mic here. Why are you hurrying? Why are you hurrying up like that? Something. You don't even show whether you even want to talk before the show come to an end. So why are you opening your microphone? I told the man I'm a moderate, and we are open, and we believe our people giving people second, third chances. All right. But I just want to ask him asking a simple question, and in his liberal mind, 150%. And just flip up and throwing tantrum here for no reason. All right. I don't think that's what the society needs. And look, Maki, you're my man. I can't look. I was 100% involved in the robocall to elect Joe Biden voluntarily. So there's nobody. This guy is very divisive. I've been upset, but I thank God that this process is going. Okay, Mr. Gator, this guy, he think I want to cut him off. Let me just go back to him. But don't hook up with this guy here. Other than that, you are a good guy. You've been doing good. If you take the Samson Toad doctrine, believe me, you don't take time. ANC with
I disagree with something on a lot of issues, but this particular subject you're discussing today, I think I'm going to start with you a little bit.
The man said he disagrees with you in all your sessions and all your arguments.
No, on a lot of issues. Tonight I'm sorry.
Mr. So. Mr.
Gay has publicly rebuked you, say he disagrees with you in
Mr. So, you can turn me whatever way you want, but this is how I feel. Mr. Gay has the opportunity and he has the right to evolve. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is very interesting, Mr. So. Now, thank you for the opportunity. You now, you say you I'm not too sure you're calling yourself moderate. I don't know what is that moderate, but I don't believe that anyway.
Why should you ponder as to what my identity is? What wrong with you?
Because I know who you are. In fact, in our circle, in our little circle, we call you Donald Trump anyway. So where's the big?
Oh my goodness! So in our cycle, you call me Donald Trump.
Yeah, we call you. You're known in our circle as our circle Donald Trump.
Julie Hassan, just bring her up. Why am I behaving like a Donald Trump if you think it that way?
Mr. So, first thing I want to say to you here, first of all, it's a very wonderful show. Having Director Weeks here was very wonderful, and I'm still excited about that. But then again, you know, he's way over there. We just continue to pray for one another. But in terms of what is happening in Liberia, Mr. So, things are getting very interesting, and I hope that this government will try to now pivot to go to the center. Instead of following the far right behavior, if they can come to the center and try to govern from the center, I think they will do well, because Liberia need it. But here is what's going to bring them to the center. The Liberian people, after this election, the Liberian people will force them to come and govern from the center. If Dallas didn't defeat Thomas Fowler, Dr. Weir and his people have no other choice but to come and govern from the center with transparency. That I guarantee. So again, it's a wonderful show.
I wonder, and this has been my argument. Unfortunately, you're one of those who just deliberately on purpose, because you are so much drowned into what you think your party is doing, so whatever. Look, I am all for a party structurally building institutions that will stand, that does not center around individual, like what you guys strongly believe in. We saw that happening with Samuel Doe. It did not work. We saw it with Charles Taylor, MPP. It never worked. A unity party did not do the same. And CDC is doing that. And you guys are unwilling to speak to that, especially you, one of those persons who is not willing, and everything is a single person. Look, we need an institution that will open or that will embrace and welcome new ideas, that will welcome people type criticism type, and I open up to be transparent. It's not happening. The political parties in Liberia, the opposition, they are not even forceful. This is why the government behaves the way they behave, because they are incoherent. They do not have a concise message to even persuade to get to the Liberian people to also rely on it. This is why all of these failed policies is all over the place. But
this is your characteristic. I mean, characterizing these political leaders. But this is what I would tell you.
Who they are. That's why. Why are you making reference?
So you need to understand. Each one of these political leaders are jockeying for position within the opposition. First thing, as time gets closer, in terms of general election,
what time? What time, guys? Are you waiting in the? You see, this is a problem. This is the problem.
Mr. So, these are human beings. These are individuals. These are political party leaders that was brought together to make one single group.
I understand.
So it's going to be difficult.
I understand. There will always be that little bit thing here. But when you're telling me, when the time gets closer, when they are not exhibiting any sense of responsibility to conduct themselves, to unify themselves, they're waiting on the eve of election before they can do that.
No, Mr. That's not what I said. I'm saying to you that bringing the individual, they all have their own character, distinct character among themselves.
Who are bad
character? So bringing them together to form a group. From time to time, you will have challenges. In any group, there's always the challenges. But how do you resolve that? Make that group to be permanent, number one. Second thing is, those of us that are associating themselves with one group or another, we have to give the leadership the opportunity to continue to lead. We can criticize.
Are you guys giving the leadership the opportunity to lead?
What leadership?
Which leadership are you talking about? You said that.
I'm talking about opposition leadership.
Now, what I'm talking about, are you giving them the chance when you guys are paying in the neck to them? You're not even listening to them. You're not even respecting your own leaders. You want to be leader within leaders.
If we were not listening to these leaders, they would not be leaders. Because they are leader because we put them there.
You guys are not leader, and this is why you guys not willing to listen to people, and this is why you will not want to learn, and this is why it will always be a challenge, and this is why it's no different from the ruling establishment, because there are so many similarities in terms of your behavior, the conduct of Star, the leadership of Star. You're growing leaders, you're growing groups in groups. You're trying to, by pulling things all around here, you don't want to condense to have a concise word to make the Liberian people to say, yeah, these are people are alternatives. So you are no different from what is happening. So there is no anything to suggest to some of us who are critical and free thinker, who thinks better for life. Oh, yeah.
You a free thinker?
There you go. You see, you don't like to be told the truth. You do not like to be told the truth.
No, we will not accept you to wrap your own personal view and your dislike of my party and the opposition, wrap it up and consider it to be a free thinker when we can see through that. We were rejected. You always come out here and you come in with your condescending voice towards my voter, and you want me to sit here as a liberal progressive to say he's a free thinker. I don't do that.
If my honest and candid view about the future of our country, if you perceive it to be condescending, then it's regrettable. Probably you purpose for me to tell you what you intend to hear. And you know me very well. We've been hanging out for quite a while. That's not my style. I say it as it is. And no matter who it is, and that's what most of those people, I don't even know if anybody call me whether I can spend a day or two to work with, because some of those nonsense, I won't pull it out. I will not accept it. I will not condone it. I will not even form an alliance with them. You know that. But you are one of those who are willing to always do everything. Okay, well, something told we got to leave it here. I don't think you have anything to say again. You have taught a lot now, all right? So we got do you want to say something?
The conservative is coming out. All right, Mr. Toe, I don't think you have anything to say. You have said a lot. Fox News, folks. Fox News is on here, and the Liberal is on Fox News tonight.
I'm taking out your call. If you align yourself with something to feedback for you. 503, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. Are you with me or are you with something too?
I'm in between.
No. Don't. You see, that's right. No. Don't be okay. But way between. Who you closer to?
Yeah. Okay, I'm closer to the Liberal.
You what?
I'm closer to the Liberal.
Something too?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Good night.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Yeah. You know, for me, I believe in giving a flower to the people while I can interact with them. And thank you both for you in the studio tonight. I want to take this time and say I really appreciate you guys. And you guys are doing a great job in the community. Keep doing your best. We're all recognizing it and we're seeing it. And don't give up, because what you are doing there is making impact on our people back home. For some of us, like I'm talking to our people back home, things that they talk, I feel that really some of them are really catching up with whatever has been discussed on one of your shows, like the Mr. Toll show, your show. You guys have really imparted knowledge to the people, and I really want to appreciate you guys for that. So thank you so much. That's what I decided to call.
Okay. Thank you so much. What, Miata? I do not believe in anything called CPP. These people, all of them, they're no different from the government. I do not believe them. They are not honest. They have a lot of corrupt people embedded within them. I have said this over and over, and sometimes people become judgmental. Oh, he did that. I do not believe them. They are not doing anything different than what the government is doing. There is nothing like a light that I really see. Because if you position yourself as a change agent, look, you must walk a different path. It must be exhibited. It must be visible. Let people see it. And I say, You can't have people like I call name. This is a guy who is always unwilling. I don't want to call people name because they always salad dressing here. They always appease people here. I can't trust, I can't believe people like Sano Johnson, who is with the people to be part of that's not a change agent. It's no different. It potentially could be even worse than the scenario. And this is what I'm challenging the opposition. In third world countries like Liberia, it is difficult to wage an effective campaign against the government. Why? Because the government going to use all her state resources to do the same, which is a violation. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. And in that regard, all of the people that are talking for them today, they need to consolidate, to solidify their position and address those issues. When I listen to those market women today, the ordinary Liberians are in the streets moving here and there. I'm talking about the unprivileged Liberian who are not getting the sort of life or the situation, places they're supposed to find yourself in. And I see this the opposition side, the government official coming out and saying things using political correctness tone. I feel bad. And that's why I want to challenge the opposition to be forceful. If they say they are doing something, if I say being forceful, not to be violence, but they must take a pragmatic approach. They must be forceful. They must engage people outside of Liberia. You don't just call on international community for crisis. Listen to other people. And I'm glad the late brother who fought in here, he was making reference to Bobby Warren. And you say here, the former ambassador here, let's see how many of those people, even the government official, the government itself, they send into a representative, how many of them have befriended any of the congressmen here? You think a relationship to cement two country ties, you think it's going to be automatic? Oh, my brother, small America, please give me a break. When you come here, when you're in Liberia, establish a relationship. Call some of these little cities and make friends with the city mayors, congressional leaders, a high-profile government official. This is how you draw the attentions of these people. This is how they call you, all right? Exchange, but they come here, they go into basement, have flamboyant parties and all of that, and they leave and they go. But then when there's an issue, then they want to call it. You think America has some sort of stupid country that can just meddle into people's sovereignty? No. When you're in problem, then you call America to say you're friend, we are friends. But when there are good times, when you want to do it your way, no, we are sovereign nation. Sovereign nation where? Sovereign nation, you cannot even maintain your own security of the state. You have lawmakers who are not even going to their constituency, who disrespect their constituency. People that elect them, they don't go back to them until after their 9-year term, they want re-election to be rehired for fabulous paycheck, and then they go back to them. Something to let me make the announcement here. On the 13th of December, there will be a big musical gospel explosion here. Jubilee Productions, in collaboration with Liberia Public Radio, will present a mini Christmas concert. All right, come and adult the process. That will be December 13, 2020, and our understanding, all proceeds will go towards, will benefit my man, boys and girls. These are people that are making meaningful contribution. You raise money here, no accountability, nothing. You're raising in the interest of the people, but the very people have been grossly abused, disrespected, and you want to act like you're advocate for the Liberian people. You need to open your eyes. You'll be investing into Fantinet, throwing your cash into the look. Until these people can be serious, I will not take them serious. They need to be responsible. They need to conduct themselves. They need to exercise political tolerance. They must be persuasive. They must argue on issues of substance, issues that are facing the nation. They must be able to stand up and challenge the government on issue and put them to task and hold them accountable. But you can't be in two places at the same time. Something thought. We got to cut a net. All right. I'm quite sure you're looking sleepy now, right? So I don't think you are all locked down. I want to thank you so much for coming in here. Today is actually my program. Who brought you in here, in fact?
Mr. So, First of all, thank you very much for hosting me here tonight again. We'll really enjoy it. It's a spirit-led conversation engagement. I truly enjoy it. I think it's some of those things that keep people like us alive, and we really appreciate that. Now, I know most of the dialogue you have, but they're true. People, if you say you're going to advocate for somebody, be truthful. And most of our brothers and sisters sometimes find it difficult to associate.
Why are you required to design something sometimes? They are not. Say it. And this is why you like to measure, like to...
Mr. So, this is who I am. I am a liberal. I cannot continue. I can't just call people names. I have to make sure that, for example, I said our brothers and sisters. Sometimes we find it difficult for our brothers and sisters to come out and not associate themselves with truth. Now, in other words, in your word, in the conservative world, you will tell our brothers and sisters they're always lying. We don't say those kinds of stuff. We say our brothers and sisters find it difficult to associate themselves with truth. That means they're saying, but I have to be polite. I have to address them as human beings. They are not enemy for me. We don't agree on many things, but I also have to
look
who they are.
Call it as it is. Neither they are not enemy, but I'm just going to tell them they have to be honest. They have to come.
Well, you have in order for you to do that, Mr. So.
They are not tolerant. I'm not going to do bottle and get pour milk and cereal or other.
Well, that's the difference between the liberal and the conservative. When we're addressing people,
politicians, you must be an adult, you must be a grown man, you must be able to have a right.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to win this battle tonight. That's okay.
That you know you're not going to win it, and I'm not going to even allow you to win it because these are the polarized statements and things that you guys made for which the country it is today, and you will come back and say,
so you cannot blame the upheaval of the country on common language. Basically, my point here is this: I don't agree with many of these people, but that does not mean that I should approach them as though they are not human beings.
That's not
an example again.
You're telling them the reality involved.
I'm telling them the reality, except the language that I use to describe my brothers and sisters.
You are
very simple. Because I want them, if they're addressing me, they should use language that is suitable. For example, I could have come out and said, our brothers and sisters on the other side, they always lying. That's not good to say. Our brothers and sisters on the other side, both difficult to associate themselves with truth.
Both sides are always involved, and we got to call it why it is. But you are always setting up peanut butter and jelly to give it.
This is Samson Cole, Mr. Soul. Thank you very much for hosting me tonight. But my liberal view will remain liberal view. I'm not going to let you bamboozle me into believing that I'm a conservative when I know I'm not. I'm a liberal, and I'm sticking with my position.
All right, well, folks, that does it this evening. The Liberal Progressive, Samson Toll, thank you so much. That's what we do here. We disagree, but believe me, we don't take anything personal against one another. Believe me, right after the show, Jenna, you're going to call me and say you're going to agree with me. That's why. So what I'm going to be doing now, I will record him because some of the things that he talks into appease the audience. So I'm going to record him nowadays and play that audio right here so you will hear it. The Liberal Progressive, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We host to the Minister of Youth and Sports. I'm going to get back with him, Minister Zoka Wilson, who's currently in the States. And I've reached out to Senator Darius Dillon, Ta Wombe, Nyomble Kanga Lawrence, I call him T5, T10, and all of those people. Hopefully that they will answer because we want them to have a debate. We want them to have conversation, but they become more friendly. So, Liberal, let me let you go and have a pleasant night.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night to you.
Join us on the 13th of December. It's going to be a big musical concert. That's part of a Christmas gift. and we will be looking forward for your goodwill donation as well.
LIB, rise up with one voice. Join us. Let's sing this song. Come on. Yeah.
Liberia, rise. Mama, Liberia, shine. Rise and shine for the world to see ya. Mama, Liberia, rise. Mama, Liberia, shine. Mama, Liberia, rise. Rise and shine for the world to see ya. Sweet land of liberty, we always be mine.
Those Minister Roscoe for that indeed liberal rights, but we gotta foster people, we gotta make them, they are in charge. We have to make them try to make Liberia to rise, all right?
Free the rain from the hills above me. Mama, Liberia, rise. Mama, Liberia, shine. Mama, Liberia, rise. Rise and shine for the world to see ya. Mama, Liberia, rise. Mama, Liberia, shine. Mama, Liberia, rise. Rise and shine for the world to see ya. Sweet land of liberty, we always be mine. Beautiful Liberia, forever.
Yes, Liberia will rise. We're going to be having a gospel concert. I will be looking, I will try to throw something out there to bring people here. Ordinary Liberia. I think the issue of Liberian should not be limited to only these political elites or political leaders. We want some people who are supporters, whether you support the government, you support the opposition, ordinary citizens, men, children, not children, women as well, girls of age. I will be putting stuff there. Just reach out to us. We want to have a sort of a discussion here. If you want to be part of that, let us know. Maybe 3 or so. Yeah, we can accommodate about 9%, or maybe not to have a crowded two that supports the government, two that support the opposition, one other group that would have an independent voice, a free thinker. But if you know you're one of those and you want to pretend you come here, I will know, because we're going to ask you questions so we can have a conversation. We want to profile this whole senatorial race, the potential outcome of it. That will just be our own views, your opinion, just to have this sort of conversation. We want to have a descendant and overall view of what is going on. The people that do listen to this. So if you have interest in that, whether if you support CDC, that's fine. You support the coalition, how to call it, CPP, that's fine as well. Or if you're just an ordinary free thinker Liberian that is just not satisfied with the entire process, the system, to want ladies to participate, let us know and we can arrange something here spectacular to have this sort of conversation. I think it will make this, it will send a strong message to these leaders, and not just bringing these politicians or government official always here to say things that they want to say. We want to get open air views from Liberian as well. So if you have interest, let us know, and we can do that. Until then, Tam Afonso and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv here. I want to thank you to all of our onliners. If they're your first time coming, sign up. Don't hesitate. We are open to criticism, or we always like to encourage people to conduct ourselves with civility. with mutual respect. You can be definitive in your position because you want to persuade, you want to bring people on your side, and that's what debate is all about, to argue your point. But we can't do it without having that sort of mutual respect. So if you think there are things that we are doing here that does not suit the public taste, or you have any of your own personal view, send us a message inbox. Suggest topics that you think we want us to talk about. There are a lot of things going on that we need to talk about. There are a lot of major social issues, and those social issues does have political implications into what is going on. So if we can look at those social issues that are affecting the country, and we always want to take a political line, then it's a problem. It's not proportional. But we do also aware that the political aspect is a dominant one because they all factor in this, have a greater share into the social issues that are happening in the country. But we want to discuss that as well. So let us know, send our inbox, your questions, your suggestions, how we can improve. But we want to call on people. Whether you support the government, you support the opposition course, that is okay. But until we can moderate our tone to reassure, because when people come to this outlet, they come with the sense of taking away something to help them to make decision. I am not saying you're going to be the one to tell them to do it, but they're going to grab something. Not that they don't have work to do, or not that we are the only person that are good at talking, but when people come to your platform, they take off their precious time to make sense of what is happening so that it will help them, to make a good decision. So it will be good if you're for the opposition, make the case what your party strongly believes in, your party ideology. If you support a candidate, make the case for your candidate. If you support the government, if you think the government is doing it right, make the case for the government. If you strongly believe that, that's how it's done. Don't take 1 hour of your time and talk about the opponent. You should take that hour to talk about what your candidate can do and what your candidate can do in terms of making the lives of the people better. But you take all of your time, opposition people, well, listen to them sometimes, it's a problem. I listen to the government people, it's a problem. They take time, 1 hour, 30 minutes of their time on Darius Dillon, instead of getting the agenda of Darius Dillon and present it and talk for him and bring voters on your side. They don't do it. You go to the government, you go to the opposition, they take all of the time. George Weah is not on the battle. It's not on the ballot. It's Tomofala. Get Tomofala platform. I haven't even seen any of them. Maybe it's somewhere. Anybody who has it, please let me know. Like categorizing, like optimizing how they're going to do it, what they believe in, why are they seeking for this position, why are they seeking for re-election. Those are the conditions, those are the things that we must visit. And then we can come together as an intellectual and ask and push your person's agenda. That's a persuasive method right there. But some of you don't have no idea. You just argue, or you see Anthony Gay supporting Kennedy B, then you jump there. Yeah, Anthony Gay can talk, so you're supporting Anthony Gay. I listened to the fellow this morning with Kwame. Those are people who already made their mind. I don't care what you do. You say he will die with George Weah, he will die with Tomofala. He doesn't care. And that's why he was carrying the sample. How many of those people do we have? I'm not saying his judgment is wrong. I'm not judging him. But is he making an informed decision? Is anybody talking to him? Or are we just going to desert him because he has said so and he's going to live with it? However, it is a conversation. It is the company that we're going to have. It is the respect that we're going to have to maybe to go much deeper while the person is making such an assertion, while the person is making such a decision. What the other group is not doing for which they have arrived at that point, how they got there. These are all questions we want to ask. So we will want to be having this sort of conversations. If you are open to that, and only open to a real cordial and civilized conversation. I don't want you call here and come with insinuations and come to all sort of red meat. I think, no. It's no speculation here. Come with your facts. Come with a good talking point, your argument, court cite instances, the behavior of expressing this government or this other group, and let us discuss those issues. That's what we want to do. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening, and I will see you again here by God's will, and same time, same station.
The peace my God has done, I cannot tell it
Cardio burns fat, right?
All right, folks. Good night and have a pleasant weekend. All right. We're going to be back here with more programming during the rest of the week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.